Like, who is more mysterious, you or Ernie Adams?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Ask Bill.
You can't give me the Patriot technique.
I
You
don't
can't
know.
just lean on ask coach.
I can't do that?
This is something we used to get taught all the time. If you got flustered with the question with the media, Bill would always say, just bring it back to me. Just tell them to ask me.
Because they've already asked already.
They've already asked already. Today, we have a very special guest.
Bill Belichick's right-hand man.
He's Bill Belichick's right-hand man.
Man of mystery, but anyone who played for the Patriots knew Berj.
He knows where the bodies are buried. The guy who knows where everything is, what everything's up to, but you don't know who he is by design.
No, by design. Everything to do with any kind of operation, Berj was there. Former Patriots Director of Football Ops / head coach administration, Berj Najarian.
The coaches I've worked under, Pat Riley, Bill Parcells, Jeff Van Gundy, Bill Belichick, Bill O'Brien, like, I'm doing all right.
So are you the coach whisperer? Are you the coach whisperer, Berj? Now, we are going over the Tuna Bowl, Jets versus Patriots, Week 3, 1997.
And this one has massive storylines. The year before, Patriots Super Bowl loser. And this game was just off the charts hype due to a lot of circumstances centering around the man they called Tuna.
So what's the misconception of Bill then?
You know, with Bill,
Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. Welcome to Games with Names. I'm Julian Edelman. They're Jack and Kyler, and we are on a mission to find the greatest game of all time. This is another Games with Names Boston edition episode. Feels great to be back in the town.
Back, baby.
It's always great to be back in this town.
Back like the Bay. Back Bay, baby. We're
You know,
here.
anytime I come back here, I live in LA now. And when I go on a trip or something, I go back to LA. It's starting to feel home, you know, with my new routine and everything. But anytime I come back to Boston and I go to my condo or my place, this feels like home. It's home. So many great memories, so many unbelievable people that I've met that have been pivotal parts of my life and career. It's just great to be back. And today, we are covering the Tuna Bowl from Week 3 of the 1997 season with former Patriots Director of Football Ops / head coach administration / Instagram sifting and current chief of staff for Boston College football, Berj Najarian.
Man of mystery.
Man of mystery, but anyone who played for the Patriots knew Berj. He was kind of like, who's the sidekick to the principal?
Assistant principal.
He's kind of assistant principal. Not really, because he didn't have that much.
When people ask, I've been saying he knows where the bodies are buried. He's the guy who knows where everything is, what everything's up to.
That's
plugged
him.
in. But you don't know who he is by design.
No, by design.
It's a big get.
He's a buffer. He's the buffer.
He's seen a lot of things. He's seen a lot of stuff go down. Seen a lot of great football. Been part of a lot of great football. Built dynasties with Bill.
Asaf just texted me that he's Smithers.
I was just gonna say, is it a Mr. Burns Smithers type deal?
Yeah, but he's cooler than Smithers.
Could be. That's a good little cross the way from old Soft Swisso.
Soft don't miss, baby.
Yeah. And
Great interview.
Great interview.
Yeah.
This is an insane interview. We get into talking about being Bill Belichick's right-hand man. Still is, I think. Still is, kind of. Feels like it. Even though he works for Billy O, and he's Billy O's right-hand man at Boston College. The drama between Parcells and the Patriots back in the day. A lot of drama.
A lot of drama. Jumping ship, bad blood, rematch, revenge.
Patriots, Jets.
It had it all.
Patriots, Jets.
Full soap opera.
And all the behind-the-scenes things it took to build a dynasty.
A lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work and a lot of people. Not just the team, not just the coaches, but the people. Like the people like Berj. And then we get into wrapping it up with the old hotline.
Love it. Got some good calls this week.
Let's go. Get in.
Come on.
September 14th, 1997. Foxborough Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Bill Parcells returns to New England for the first time after leading them to a Super Bowl.
But this Sunday night soap opera won't be settled in regulation. This is the Tuna Bowl.
Yeah, baby. That was awesome.
Welcome to Games with Names, and today we have a very special guest. We have Berj Najarian joining us here in the Nuthouse, Boston version. Welcome to the studio, Berj.
Great to be here, Jules. Great to be here.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
is it unbelievable?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're together hours and hours and years in like a hallway or an office or a locker room or a field. Now we're sitting here in your studio on your set.
This is my house. This isn't a studio or a set. We do this in the real places that we live because we want real conversations. And I just hope that the world gets a real conversation from the Berj, the myth, the man, the legend. Now we are going over the Tuna Bowl.
Woo!
Jets versus Patriots, Week 3, 1997. Why this game, Berj?
This is a big game, man, for so many reasons. It's a huge game. This is one of the most hype games ever. The regular season games. I swear, like regular season games, to that point, it's one of the most hype games ever. And I was actually part of it. I think most people by this point might think of me as a Patriot, as they should. 24 years.
As Robert Kraft said, we are all Patriots.
We are, for sure. But before I was a Patriot, I was a Jet. And I was actually a Jet Week 3, 1997 for the Tuna Bowl. And this game was just off the charts hype due to a lot of circumstances centering around the man they called Tuna, Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
There are numerous players, great players, Patriot Hall of Famers, Pro Football Hall of Famers in this game. There was a lot of emotion going into this game and during this game before a lot of other things happened in the years to come. But this was really a milestone event before social media. Nowadays, social media is what hypes games, right? Twitter, Instagram, all these things are social media and it's off the charts. But then there was no social media. There was barely an internet. There's barely an internet in 1997. So games were hyped by splashy headlines in the newspapers and sports talk radio, which were live and humming in New York and Boston at the time.
Humming.
Yeah.
Is this the greatest game of all time, Berj?
No, this is not the greatest game of all time. I can't say that.
All right. Well,
I can't say it. I'm just saying it's
we asked
it's a
all
lot
our
of
guests.
things.
We
I'm
asked
not
all
here,
our guests.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
asked all our
I can't sit here and break down a bunch of plays and do X's and O's.
You
I
could.
But I can do themes and storylines. And this one has massive storylines. The year before, Patriots, Super Bowl loser. Okay.
Is Tuna in? Is he out? He's out.
He's out. And there's a lot of fallout that came with that, as people know. The man's beloved in New York. He was beloved here.
Yeah.
As Patriots coach. Went to the Super Bowl, but then he leaves, and it's not all good. There's some venom toward him. There's a lot of hype in the media. And Week 3, here we are, the very next season, coming off a Super Bowl year. The Jets are coming off of a 1-15 season, but there's a lot of excitement, optimism with the arrival of Bill Parcells and his staff. And the people in Foxborough, man, like they were ready for this game. It's a night game. There weren't that many night games in Foxborough leading up to that. I don't know how many, but I don't think there were a lot of night games even in that stadium.
Yeah.
And the fans were ready to go.
Ready to go.
Fueled
Foxborough,
up,
faithful.
egging buses, like not one or two. I mean, like egging buses.
This is back when fans could be fans.
Yeah.
This is back when fans could be fans, Jack. Eggs on the bus.
This isn't Gillette either. This isn't Gillette.
No,
This
this
is
is
old
the old
Foxborough Stadium. 60,000 plus.
60,000 plus.
Right?
I'm going back and watching this tape. There is a world, it felt like a bizarro world, where the NFL Sunday Night Football was on TNT. And Craig Sager was on the sidelines of a football game. And Vern Lundquist was up in the booth for TNT with Mark May. It was wild.
It was a
This
wild.
was 1997 football. I love it.
1990. This is
Awesome.
when football was football. All right, we'll dive into that.
All right, we'll get back to the game, but it's a cool game.
Oh, it's amazing.
We're gonna get to the game.
Okay.
We're gonna get to the game.
Because that's kind of why we're here, right?
No,
we're here to talk about this game.
All the reason why we're here, Berj. All the reason. But what's life looking like for you right now?
Good. It's going great. At Boston College, been there like 4 months now. it's very interesting. I'd say some things are very similar, like football is football. And if you walk into a Bill O'Brien team meeting or a Bill O'Brien staff meeting, you're hearing a lot of Bill Belichick themes, philosophies, but with a different twist. They have very different personalities for sure. But at its core, there's some similarities there. But BC is a great place. He knows what he's doing. And it's good to be at a place with an identity. BC has an identity. It knows what it is, that education and building the whole person and playing good football, giving to the community, and like that's what he's about. It's a great fit with him. It's a great fit with me to be with him because I know the guy so well.
Great.
Just
fit.
think about this. We can go back to it, but the coaches I've worked under, and we can go back to the next Pat Riley, Bill Parcells. Well, Jeff Van Gundy at the Knicks. Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Bill O'Brien. Like, I'm doing all right.
So are you the coach whisperer? Are you the coach whisperer, Berj?
No, I wouldn't say that. I'm just trying to help out, man.
Like, who is more mysterious, you or Ernie Adams? Like,
I don't know.
You don't know?
Ask Bill or Bill.
Oh, you can't give me the Patriot technique.
I don't
You can't
know.
just lean on ask coach.
I can't do that?
This is something we used to get taught all the time. If you got flustered with the question with the media, Bill would always say, just bring it back to me. Just tell them to ask me.
Because they've already asked already.
They've already asked already. No,
I don't know. I mean, maybe I am a little bit. I don't go out there. I mean, maybe other than now and talk about myself and what I do. It's the people I work with.
No one knows, and that's why we wanted to bring you on here because it's because of people like you that people outside the building don't really realize how much of a team sport winning in an organization is. It's not just about the players and the coaches. It's about the people, the operations people. It's about the facility people. It's about the equipment staff.
Equipment, for sure.
It's about the training staff.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to have you on here. Can you tell the people what your role was with the Patriots?
I mean, there were a lot of specific
What
things.
was the actual title? And then we can get into what your role was.
It was kind of lengthy. Director of Football / Head Coach Administration.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
It means that I help him. What it doesn't mean is I don't coach players. You know that. I never coached you. Never talked to you about your technique or a route or whatever, or defense. So I don't do that. We can eliminate that. I don't do treatments on players. But
Mental treatment. You gave me mental treatment, Berj, when I needed it sometimes.
oh, I appreciate that.
Keep going.
But he's involved. He is responsible for a lot of stuff. A lot. Like, honestly, I think about it sometimes. Like, who in the NFL, other than maybe the commissioner, handle more than him? Every contract, every play, every hire, every whatever, dealing with lots of things. So when he was at Cleveland, I think he took, all that on himself, like everything. And then when he, realized the second time around, like, he doesn't need to do all that, like, give all that stuff, a lot of that to somebody else to handle. All the other shit, as he put it. So stuff that's important, all the operational things, like, making sure travel is right the way he wants it, making sure, everybody's on the same page with whatever, the schedule, or how we're going to handle some event that's coming up. Or what's really important at the Patriots organization is, as good as it is on the field, it's very sophisticated and accomplished off the field with business things and sponsorships and PR and all those things. Like, it's elite. Mm-hmm. So the football team has a part in that. So I was kind of the go-between in a lot of those things, like fulfill an obligation to a corporate partner, and we need players. You've been in all those things. Yeah. So a lot of that would go through me, and he didn't want to really deal with that stuff, but we got to make it happen. We got to make it work. So like, pick an event that you did through the club, and I was probably involved in it somewhere along the line. Yeah. A lot of the things with access to the team, which is very important, showing behind the scenes things, which we didn't do every day, but we did a fair amount over the years. Like, we did. Like, that's got to go through somebody between me and Stacey James. And, we'd get in there, we'd see the footage, and all right, let's use this. That looks good, whatever. And, like, that's like a weekly basis during the season. So
you feel you had a lot of hats.
Yeah.
You had a lot of hats.
Yeah, which is actually a blessing for me because it allowed me to interact with a lot of people. A lot. I mean, I wasn't like just sitting at my desk doing one thing. I was working with everybody.
Yeah. He was. Berj was with everyone. He was in every meeting. He was the first person you saw when you walked through the door because his office was at the entrance, and you would see Berj. He probably just came in from his 17-mile run in the morning, always running. The guy's in elite shape. And then he'd be handing out red schedule, like everything to do with any kind of operation. Berj was there. Now, what was like the most taxing day for you for work?
Yeah.
What was it like? Because like Tuesday's Players' Day off. Our Thursday was always an elite tax day for the player because it was third down. It was our last day of practice. Fast Fridays the next day. You travel on Saturday. What was your most taxing day that you had to use all that brain power?
Definitely Monday and Tuesdays during the season for sure. Probably Monday because you come in and I like to watch the game, the TV copy of the game. Like by the end of Monday, I'd like to have watched that just to kind of see what the world is seeing. Yeah. What's being said.
Now, was it assigned or you did that on personal?
With Bill, over the years, there were a lot of things that were assigned and he expected and he asked for, but there were also things that I just kind of did and gave.
You worked proactively, not reactively.
A lot of times I did. And
Sam, you hear that? Sam.
See you around corners, Sam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would, out of watching a game, maybe I would say, hey, Bill, or write it down and give it to him. A few things that came out of that. Okay, that's good for him to know that he wouldn't have otherwise known.
Like what?
Here's something the announcers said that their coaches said about us.
You need to run the football. Look, you say something to the media, they'll fucking tell you the game plan.
You know what? Sometimes they do. Or if you build it over the course of a whole season, going back to training camp, a lot of guys are open. So, it's not like the entire game plan and, one comment, but over the course of 10 games, you might get some themes.
Which everything's logged.
Yeah, sure. If we won the ball game, which, we won a lot of ball games, there are going to be game ball winners. There are going to be quotes on the. They're going to be.
Whoa, Berj,
I don't know. No,
I gave game balls.
I take that. No, I didn't say I gave game balls.
All right.
But game ball winners get pictures on a wall.
You gave pictures.
So, it's not all me, but it starts with the photographers, the Dave Silvermans, and those guys, and Dwight Darren. They take thousands of photos during a game. Well, those kind of get filtered down.
You filter them. You go through every photo.
And our staff, I might go through 60 to get to the 22 or so that we put up. You know what I mean?
And
sometimes there was some backlash on that. Like, where's my picture?
I used to get pissed all the time. For the listener, you'd walk in every week after a victory, and we'd have highlighted pictures throughout the facility of that week's game. A big play moment, a big block, a big touchdown, the lineman celebrating in the end zone, something that, basically showed what we did in that week's game. And, you walk in, and we all knew Berj picked the photos. Berj, there's a line of guys, but Berj was a lead. And sometimes, you go in there, for us players, to have your picture on the wall, at least for me, I loved it. You wanted to go in. That means they recognized you or what you did in the game as something of some importance. And that's all we were fucking trying to do there, is just try to get a little something nice out of, coach, because he was very stickler. He was hard on you, but you needed that. But that was his way of showing appreciation. So Berj was at the forefront of that. So if, you go in after a game and you look at, I'd walk through every hall. I'd see.
Oh, I bet.
Berj, where the fuck's my photo?
Right.
Were there any other guys like that? Or
yeah, a lot of times it was, who do they get it from? Andrew sometimes, O-lineman, they get forgotten.
They do get
But a lot of times, you think that O-lineman, they don't really want that, right? Yeah. But some of them did. But it wasn't just the photos too. We had an award called Patriot of the Week, which wasn't necessarily the guy who scored a winning touchdown or made interceptions or whatever. It was a guy who overcame some adversity or did something extra, like more of a great teammate type of an award. And there would be a little comment or a little blurb on what it was. He dealt with an injury, or he played like 6 positions in the game, or was ready to go, or had some family situation, and so that would be a decision. There's also like that big portrait on the wall that there would be the score of the game, the opponent, and then a little one-liner there on it might follow up something that he talked about during the week.
Are you coming up with all those one? Are you?
I would. Well, in the end, he would look at it, but I would that would be part of Monday. Think about, all right, what are we going to do, and give it to him. And most of the time, I'm like, yeah, that's good. Or sometimes, say this too.
Yeah.
It was a press conference. There's a team meeting. I would a lot of times give him some thoughts on things to say to the team. Something was handled well, or here's something we talked about last week, and maybe he doesn't remember exactly what it was, but here are the 3 things we said. All right, here they were. We talked about this, it happened. Talked about this, it didn't happen.
Wow. How many hours do you think you put in a week?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Early in my career, I was kind of paranoid about leaving. Like, you don't want to leave. But later on, I got kids and whatever. I would leave. I mean, I don't know. Like, so it's by the day. Like every morning I'm in by whatever, 6 or something like that. Go for a run, and then then we go. Mondays leave around 8:30. Tuesdays leave around 8:39. Wednesdays 8:30. Thursday somewhere in there. And then by Friday it's like 5 or so. So total that up, whatever that is, I don't know. It's a lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
I'll tell you what, though, there wasn't a day, not one day, 24 years driving up to that place and I thought, no, I don't want to be here today. That never happened.
Jesus, I used to think that after week 8.
I doubt that.
After week 8.
I doubt that. Well,
after week 8,
you faked
body
it well.
Hurts. I'm sitting there. What the fuck am I thinking about?
Well, you're still the first guy in somehow, so you faked
Scarnecchio was. I tried to beat him my rookie year. I beat him once. He was like 345. I just wanted to see if I could beat Scarnecchio.
In your
He
face,
was probably.
Scar.
He was probably.
He got it at 340. Didn't he get in at like 4 or something?
He was probably sick that day.
Bears, what was your most obscure task?
My most obscure task. I mean, Bill had some needs on the road now. Like he wants his office. Like it's not like on the road. Like we don't just go to a hotel. I think some teams like they go on the road. They show up, they might meet, they might not. They go out to dinner, go to bed, get up and go play. It's not like that at the Patriots.
No.
You get there and then we're like scrambling at the hotel to recreate our offices at Gillette Stadium, especially if it's not a one-night stay. If it's a 2-night stay or a week-long stay, like you're in your off, like you have a ballroom where it's chopped up and then there are different spots in the hotel that you turn into an office. So Bill's office has got to be like, it's got to be detailed. Obviously the workspace, the screen, the treadmill, the place to hang clothes, the iced tea,
So Bill's not a coffee guy, he's an iced tea guy, right?
Bill's not a coffee guy.
Yeah, he doesn't
at
drink
all.
coffee at all.
He drinks iced tea. Yeah.
Sweet? Unsweet?
It's unsweetened with lemon,
So you're telling me Bill is not just sitting in the corner at the little desk with the Bible and the little pad, like doing his work there? Not at all.
No. You might not even get to that. You might even get to that room until 4 hours after we arrive. After going meeting with the media, meeting with the staff, meet with the coaches, and meet with the scouts after that, and then eventually get to the room.
Yeah, like people don't like. We'd all have like a 2-hour, like an hour break before meetings started or treatment started when you get to the hotel of the away game, and we'd have some downtime where we can go change, get out of the suit because you had to wear a suit during travel. Bill would be in that goddamn suit until about 10:30 at night.
Oh boy,
Loose tie and all.
whew. Talk about a long day.
His feet had to hurt because
Had to be.
He
Them
gained
dogs
some
were
weight back
barking.
then.
Oh, come on, man.
No, didn't you guys used to have weight challenges?
We did. That was pretty good. That was at the Jets. That started at the Jets at least. Yeah, everybody had a goal. This was serious too. There was contracts involved. there were
Sabotage? I heard.
there was sabotage. There would be like, and Bill did this. He would put, it was like maybe 6 or 7 of us, like, you know, trying to lose different amounts of weight. Like I wasn't trying to lose that much, but whatever. But I was in it. But he would put like a slice of pizza in someone's desk drawer or some cookies in there to, you know, when the weigh-ins were about to come up. And there were penalties about if you try to tamper with a scale, which that happened.
Oh my God.
Who tampered the scale? Dayball? Oh, this is pre-Dayball.
No, this is pre-Dayball. This was
Charlie?
Mike Tannenbaum, Scott Pioli, Charlie Weiss, Eric Mangini. And Charlie Weiss, actually, he had like a serious, I don't know if actually how serious a condition was, but he had like a really uncontrollable like nosebleed one day, like right before a weigh-in, and like they wouldn't let him out of the bed. Like they would not let him out, man.
Contract's a contract.
Right. And
I've heard that.
It turned into a big deal. Like with his wife
How do you get Paul Tagliabue?
but it
involved?
works, man. It worked. Yeah.
Someone got a first round pick.
Yeah. It worked, man. Everyone made their weights. So
Wow.
I mean, not very healthy, but
Healthy competition. Can you take us through a game day? What's your process? What are you thinking? What are you doing on game day? Are you going there to the facility to check the game clocks and report to Bill, like, hey, Bill, the win's this? Or are you just straight getting the team right? And what are you doing on game day?
Yeah, it varies. Different things. Like I would be the one to submit the inactive form, you know, like the player. And, you know, a lot of weeks there's 6 or 7, depending on what it is now, but like 6 or 7 players who are on the active roster who are not active for the game. So that has to get submitted to the league. And there's some other information you got to put on there too. But the inactive form is important. And a lot of times it comes down to the last second, like, is this guy healthy enough to play? Is he not? He's going through a workout, and it could go up to like 10 minutes left.
Oh, I remember.
I'm sure.
Do you remember when I had when I broke my arm?
Yeah.
And it was my rookie year. And I was like, I got a surgery. And I was like maybe 14 days out of the surgery. And I'm leaving on Friday to go to my house because I just started practicing in that second week.
Yeah.
And as I'm leaving, Berj was the guy that would stop you. Hey, Coach wants to talk to you. What do you mean, Coach wants to talk to me? Yeah. Am I going? He's like, you might have to go get your suit. Remember that?
Yeah.
I had to go get my suit. You know, he goes, I think Bill wants you to travel because it'll be good for, just matchup looks. People just to see you travel. I'm like, all right, cool. Awesome. All right, I'll go get my suit, travel. And then I did the game day workout.
Yeah.
And on game day, I'm sitting there the night before. Me and Slade actually, we shared a room on the road early in our career. I'm sitting there like, I don't know if I could do this, Slade. I don't know if I could do this. This is fucking terrible. Sunday night football. Was it Sunday night or Monday night?
I think it was Sunday.
Sunday night, yeah, Sunday. So I go to bed, terrified. Wake up the next morning. I wake up Slade. I'm like, it's Sunday night football. I'm gonna go. So I do my workout. I just broke my arm, and I'm doing a workout before the thing. I'm like, yeah, Coach, I think it's gonna be all right. He's like, all right. Puts me in. First touchdown. You were the first one to let me know.
There you go. See, I got more fun facts for you today too. We'll get to.
What do you got?
I got a fun fact for you, which does relate to game day. So you asked, one of the things I do, I talk about access, right? Like, so every team has people that work with NFL films, right? And NFL Films has the right to mic players up, right? Got some good ones here, don't we?
We sure do.
So, that goes through Stacey James. It goes through me. Like, who are we going to mic up? Here's who we want. Who, team has a little bit of influence on who it can be. And maybe we should stay away. Some guys don't like to be mic'd. And then afterward, there's a process of whatever they put out there, whatever footage they have. Well, in the history of the National Football League, someone has the most postseason mic'd up games. The most postseason mic'd up games in the history of the National Football League. Tom Brady, Mahomes, Kelsey. I'm into this stuff. And I happen to be involved. 11 for number 11.
Drew
How
Bledsoe?
about that?
Drew Bledsoe?
Good guess.
We ain't
It
talking
is
DB.
not Drew Bledsoe.
Let's go.
This guy right here.
Let's go.
whose house I'm sitting in, has more postseason wires than anyone else in the history of the National Football League. How about that?
Hell yes.
Now, why?
Good question. Well, like I said, there's a process.
We were undefeated for a while
We were.
until the last one.
We were. There's something, not that we're overly superstitious, but, it's going pretty good there for a while. Did it. Performed. A lot of great plays in there. Game-winning plays. Entertainment value. They wouldn't keep asking unless it was good, good material. Some good material on there. So he kept asking, and we kept saying yes.
That's awesome.
Some incredible quotes too in there.
Appreciate you, Berj.
Incredible.
Now, Berj, you had to sift through all the footage.
Like,
before.
I love you, Bill. I love you, Bill. Out there on the stage.
Yeah.
You're too old.
There's a couple of them. I do love Bill.
I got it.
So
I caught it.
we're huge fans of NFL films here. What is the process like after the fact? So are you reviewing the footage they send it all the mic'd up? How does that go?
I mean, there's a great trust with those guys. Like, they're not out to ever make anyone look bad. So pretty much what they want is what it is. There are times where, like, there's something going on that maybe you don't know about that maybe we would rather not have in there. So they'll generally work with us on that. I mean, I don't know if you've ever, in all those 11 wires, it's a lot of footage. Was there ever been anything that you were like, maybe there's something, I don't know, but nothing that we thought was so egregious that we demanded they
Nothing
check it
that
out.
was public, but I remember one of the Super Bowl parties.
Okay.
Remember they had like there's a PG version and then there's like a rated R version.
Okay.
Remember one of the Super Bowl parties we had like the rated R shit of all the
Yes.
mic'd up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some stuff there that I was like, I wouldn't have gone well if it went public.
Well, it didn't. So
It never
It
went
took care of
public. Yeah.
So hey, see, another one. We're connected. We are connected, man.
Connected. Now, what's the biggest misconception of Bill Belichick?
Well,
See how I butter you up?
yeah, I know. Eventually, we're gonna get to the sign on the door.
Yeah.
Speak-
Do your job.
Speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself.
It's on the way out.
Can you? So
So
what,
my
what's the
last
way
day
in?
there, when I left, my last day there, I saw it on the door. Speak for yourself. I'm gonna remember that today for the rest of this conversation. But anyway,
Ignore the noise. Don't believe the hype. What else is on?
Manage expectations.
Manage
Speak for yourself.
expectations.
That's on the way out.
What's on the way in?
Do your job. Work hard. Be attentive, and put the team first.
Put the team first.
There it is.
Talking about?
I mean,
Come on, man. This is a way of life, man. This isn't like mottos and slogans.
it's not. So what's the misconception of Bill then?
How many times he said effing Foxborough High? I mean, I was in every meeting for 20 years. For 20 years. Now, maybe he said it every day on the field or in privately. I wasn't there, so I didn't hear it. Like, the amount of times I hear, I could get someone from Foxborough. He didn't say it that many times. He did not say it that many times.
If it happened twice a year, if it happened twice a year,
maybe twice a year. Okay.
twice a year,
out of 100 meetings.
some guy making $8, $10, $15 million sitting there watching film, and he hears that, he's gonna remember that. So it may have only been twice a year, but if you were on the team for 6 years,
Okay.
I'm not a math guy, but that's 12 times.
But not all directed at you.
No, but you hear Foxborough High, it's
Because
it's gonna stick out.
Because they can't execute a snap. It wasn't because couldn't make a play in triple coverage. He couldn't do a snap or drop a 2-yard pass.
So that's the biggest misconception is Foxborough High.
that's a
That's the biggest misconception about
That's a misconception.
everyone here, guys. Foxborough High never happened because Bears
No. Didn't say never. I'd say not as much as people think.
Yeah.
I don't know what else about Bill. He's funny. I mean,
He's
I
very
think that's
funny.
starting to come out. He's a very funny guy. Sometimes like he's not trying, and you try to suppress the laughter, but he can be very funny.
Well, his way of getting at you is through like statistics and numbers, and his knowledge of the game. He'll sit there and he'll prove a point by bringing back an all-time great that he coached, and he'll give out the actual number of snaps, the number of plays that you've done, and this is what this did. That's his way of getting. But it's kind of like you're sitting there, you're like, that's kind of funny.
Another one I'd say, And not that he doesn't get after players. He gets after players and staff for sure. There's there's yelling, but it's not all the time in your face. To me, it's not that you're trying to avoid that. You're trying to avoid the most slight expression, like you screwed something up and you're gonna get. Like that's all. Did you see that? I don't know if you even noticed that.
I saw that. What
But it's not like it's not in your face. Like that's a Parcells fear. Like that could happen. But with Bill, it's more of those types of things that you're trying to avoid.
It's kind of like disappointing your father.
Yeah, you don't want to disappoint the guy.
It's like he didn't have to say anything. Or the way he hit remember he hit the podium so hard?
Yeah.
He hit that podium hard. Because I was right there.
Yeah.
The guy's got some calloused hands. Did you watch the roast?
I was at the roast.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I did.
This is for our audience.
Oh yeah. It's
Sorry.
fair.
Yeah, I was there. That was something else. That was the whole thing, man. I went with Billy O. We were actually out there. We were out there because there were some Boston College alumni events we were out there for, which is awesome, and it just so happened to coincide. So we went. And the whole thing, just walking in the forum, starting with that, that's pretty cool.
It
just
is.
knowing the history and all the stars and everything.
Especially all the photos on
Yeah.
the walls and stuff.
And then you go in, and it's like this, high end, extravagant event. And then, okay, this is nice. Lots of people around. And here we go. Lots of laughs.
Did it feel weird going to the Patriot roast, the Tom Brady roast, whatever the roast was with Billy O as a BC guy?
Well,
Or did you guys were both in it, so you guys felt.
yeah, we were close enough to it that I felt, more inside than outside on that, just because of all the people and But a lot of laughs and a lot of moments like this. I did that like several times. As our table. I don't know how this came about. It was me, Billy, Michael Crabtree, and Charles Woodson, and one of their guests. Like that's our table. And then at the next table, Kim Kardashian and her crew. You probably know that. You probably knew the whole crew. But
Bear's right next to Kimmy. Look at Bear.
I love it, baby.
Armenian band. Come on.
That's right.
That's Armenian. That's the Armenian posse right there.
Armenian.
Did you say what's up? Did you say what's up to her?
You say what's up?
I didn't. I was going to after, but she went the other way. Whatever.
I mean, you guys had a connection.
I went
I was
to-
going to say, damn.
I know. Well, who knows?
Man, it
Next
was-
time. Next time. I went and saw Andrew Schultz instead. That guy's
you go.
funny.
He was funny.
Nikki Glazer was very funny.
Really good.
Now,
Those people, just like professional athletes, people think, oh, I could do that. I did that in high school. I could have done that. But these comedians, and you can't do that. You're not a professional. You can't do that. These comedians, they're awesome.
that's their environment. That's their mojo.
Yeah.
But after seeing Bill for all these years and knowing Bill for all these years, how do you think Bill did up there?
Great.
Killer.
I mean, I was happy that people got to see that.
Oh, yeah, that's what I
because
mean.
we see that and we know that, and I mean, I was happy he got out basically alive. Took some shots. He took some shots, but
It was like
he
a
survived.
therapeutic. It was like a big therapy session.
It felt
I was just
so
wondering,
surreal.
as hopefully this stuff isn't going to carry over. Like that was what happened at the roast, stays at the roast, and now we move on. Or is the bar changed? Is the standard changed?
Oh,
What do you think?
2024. It's fucking. There is no bar.
No bar?
No bar, Bears.
I like bars.
Before we move on from the roast, you just mentioned earlier that some of Belichick's humor was in stats. He gave Amendola one at the roast.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, a little back and forth there.
There is.
There's some back and forth. So Bill,
Which
has
maybe goes
heard-
back to something that you know about.
I don't know. You just said back and forth. So
Well-
what is this back and forth? So when someone goes and says something about Bill, who's the person that brings the information to Bill that someone said something about Bill?
Listen, I don't know what happens outside of me. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes probably other people. Sometimes I keep them informed. Even now I might shoot them an email, but hey, just
Just to let you know.
it's ingrained in me.
You gotta kiss the rings. That's a Godfather.
It's a relationship.
Now, we'll segue to you dipped into it. It's a way of life. A patriot. It's a way of life. What does the Patriot Way mean to you, Berj? What is this is a hard Big J journalism.
I know.
Question.
It's not a term. It's not really a term that was used in the building.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
For me, it's like never thinking that you're there. Never thinking you're even good enough. You always do more. Like you could be there however long you want and had a good day, but I could do all these other things, and we'll get to that the next day. Always chasing something. I can't really name any of the real champion true Patriots that cared about credit,
Yeah.
It was not only just things about like we have to do this, this, and this, but it's also like, well, we don't need to do all these other things, like let's focus on what matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always tell everyone that, like what everyone always asks. I go, I don't know. Like it was accountability, dependability. It was almost being afraid to be the guy.
Totally. Yeah.
That fucks up.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to, let your teammates down, your coaches down, be embarrassed about it.
Right.
Because everyone's putting in the effort, and I always tell everyone also, Bill had a template and he had his rules and he didn't really necessarily enforce them. It was the leaders on the team that enforced the laws. Yeah. So like he was Congress and the leaders were fucking the sheriffs out there. We don't make the laws.
Yeah. We enforce them.
So who would Berj be in this analogy?
I think Berj would probably. I don't know government terms very well, but where would you be, Berj?
I'd probably help make some laws
Laws?
for him and his team.
Are
And
you a lobbyist?
not really. That's not my nature. Yeah. Anyway, I'd make a suggestion and back it up with something. Bill will always listen to anything.
Yeah.
Have it backed up with something.
I tell that to everyone too.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks this whole collaborative narrative. Bill will take information from anyone. But if you give him information, it's fucked up information, you're probably going to be in the goddamn doghouse. You don't want to be in that goddamn doghouse. That doghouse is about 17 miles away.
Yeah. I help pass some legislation. I also help enforce it like with support staff. Because all the things you just said about don't want to be the one, don't want to be the weak link, don't want to be the one to say, I fucked that up, which everybody says sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like that applies to the support staff too.
Yeah.
Because we're all in it together. Like, yeah, it's a massive organization, big billion-dollar business, but in the end, everyone's on top of each other all the time. Like It's very close. You know everybody, so you see what they do. There's no hiding.
Yeah.
Especially in a football locker room, man. You guys can sense things quickly.
What do you mean? Like what?
Like knowing who's legit, knowing who we can count on.
You have any stories of any guys coming up to you suggesting or seeing one of these scenarios of being in the locker room where guys can just sniff the fear out of someone?
Right. No, I don't have a specific story on that. I just know that you guys are very in tune to just human nature and people.
We're also in
and
tune.
you can tell through the sense of humor too. Like it comes out.
You know what we're in tune to? We're in tune to knowing that anytime we posted anything on the internet, that we could be getting a call or a knock or a, hey, coach wants to see you, or hey, why don't you come over here?
Okay, that's true.
Now, can you take
That's true.
Can you take us through the social media scanning process that we had in the
Well, I didn't get onto social media until like recently, last couple of years. I started Instagram, so I wasn't like I'm not out there like scanning. Now, internet, yeah, I can do that, but I'm not scanning Twitter. Other people are well versed in that, so it comes to us.
in.
Bill is famous for saying I could just be sitting at my office, minding my own business, and stuff comes to me. That happened a lot of times with social media stuff too, where it would just come to me because everyone knows we want to know. So if they see it, it comes. Let me ask you this though: like, how many times did you not post something that you wanted to post?
Why don't you ask these guys?
Constantly.
Okay,
This is my team.
Yeah.
Okay.
We lived in
And-
fear for 10 years about,
Okay.
can we do this? Let's word this way. Let's do this. You never want to get Jules to get the knock, because if he got the knock, we got the knock.
Okay. And so how did it all turn out? We did okay.
Could have been better.
Could it?
It's like
We're always chasing, man. So that's what the next chapter is for.
I also, in talking about this, like scanning for social media and what players can and can't do, was there a level of like earning it too? Because like, we noticed as Jules kind of got along, the leash got a little bit longer.
For Jules, for Devin, for
Rob.
Did Rob post a lot? Yeah, he did post a lot. Maybe his last year or so.
He was posted about a lot.
Right. That's different, man.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
You control what you can control. Yeah, some guys did get more leash, but most no.
You remember the post that because guys were talking about it when I told the story about Bill being in the hot tub.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Did he ever come up to you? Did he hear this story ever? Has Bill heard of any of our stories?
I mean, I honestly can't remember that exact reaction. I'm sure it went something like, "What the fuck?" Yes, there's no way. He absolutely knows that story. Right? No question. That one didn't slip through. Come on. What are we doing?
What are we doing? There's a fucking rule. We can't go bare knuckle Barry in the goddamn hot tub. I don't care if no one's in there.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree.
How has that changed over time, though? Like, he's clearly gotten a little looser,
right,
with the whole
maybe shouldn't have
snap face.
Bill's. Now bet you never thought you'd see Bill in the media, right?
No, he definitely knew it.
Wouldn't it be great if he got on social media at some point? Wouldn't that be great?
Is that a tease? Do you know something?
Snap face?
I'm just asking.
Eyeball emoji?
Is he signing a deal with Snapchat?
I don't know.
Or is
Snap
he,
face.
Stay tuned.
Snap face?
He's launching Snapface.
or
Yeah,
is he-
right. No, he's gonna.
This
gonna
right
own
here,
it.
guys.
He's gonna
Bill
own it.
Belichick from Berj is joining OnlyFans for exclusive content, exclusive coaching technique content with his toes dangling out.
Stop it. Cut that out.
Serious note, by the way, like OnlyFans, it has one part of it, but also has other stuff. If Bill went on OnlyFans, just posted old game plans of old games, it would blow up everything. It'd be incredible, just purely for the football junkies.
I'm just asking a question.
Got to show a little
But
skin, though.
anyway,
Gotta show a little something.
A little skin, a little bit.
where were we?
The threshold of showing
yeah.
Bill stuff.
No. It was the threshold of him loosening up, which I think he did. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have.
Was there one specific time anyone did something super crazy on social that you could specifically remember in Bill? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Bears, can you go get him?
Remember, I don't even remember him. Remember this?
Oh, do I remember Steve? Yeah, I know.
Good, great guy, fun guy, good player. Well, it was off season, of course, because most things happen in the off season. He posted him shooting guns in a backyard, like the backyard, not a range or like the backyard. Just there's a target there, and that's not what we're looking for, buddy.
About Matt Lay.
To coin a phrase, like it's not what we're looking for. But he didn't. Only Matt posted that.
No.
This is like you said. This is a good idea to go post. Yeah, that one didn't go well. That was a letter and a conduct detrimental.
Conduct detrimental. You know what conduct detrimental is? That's what 35.
That's the
fine,
more
right?
serious offense.
That's a serious offense.
Can you define that?
So there are different types of categories of discipline. There's being late to a meeting, missing a meeting, losing a playbook, being overweight, and things like that. That's one category. And those have specific fines associated with them that are collectively bargained, and they go up year by year. Then there's another category called conduct detrimental, which there's no set fine amount. It's up to 1 week's game check. And that could be things like disobeying coaches, being disruptive within the team, firing guns and posting, anything that casts the organization in a negative light, such as that. There's a long list. Speeding in the parking lot. Burning something in a hotel room.
I don't care.
Not a
if it's
candle,
incense,
anything.
If it burns, leave it the fuck out.
And you're a noted candlesman. You love your candles.
I love a good candle.
Sorry, man. You have to do that somewhere else, not in your hotel room.
You can't do it in the hotel
The
room.
conduct detrimental is more serious. That has to go to the NFL. that has to be that fine letter has to go to the NFL, has to go to the Players Association.
And you guys determine the fine amount?
Yeah,
Well, there's
Okay.
up to.
yeah.
Oh, up to.
Now,
So there, you know,
how many times did you have to, like, talk Bill off the ledge of conduct detrimentally fining Matt Light?
not that many. I don't think Matt. See, Matt's a smart dude. Matt knows how to take it to the edge, you know, and it's hard to really go after him. I don't know that Matt ever got it.
Was Bill scared to go at Matt Light because of the pranks that Matt Light would do to him?
No, probably scared.
Did you hear the email exchange?
Oh, I heard. I heard. He still think Matt doesn't believe me, but I didn't have anything to do with that. I really didn't. I remember that. I remember the mouse. I mean, that's pretty good.
Not good.
Pretty good.
Not good,
He's
man.
got 100 other ones in a locker room that I'm sure I don't know about.
Was there any of those on that episode, the Matt Light episode? Everyone, you guys got to listen to that. Or
Tremendous. I heard it.
was there
On my run.
any jokes or pranks that he left out that you remember?
Well, there's not with Matt. There's one. Drew was he was the godfather of it. I think that's probably where Matt got it from. Is Drew Bledsoe? Like, he was legendary for doing stuff.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, and he's told those stories like filling Tom's car up with like the
peanuts, right?
You know, things. I'm not a big practical joke guy, man. I'm just there to work.
I'm with you.
He's a Patriot. Bear's the Patriot way. He's just there
Proud of it, baby.
to work.
Come
Oh,
on.
whoopee cushions over here. Come on, we got work to do.
Come on, man. Grab ass.
No,
and-
what's going on in staff meeting when Matt Light pulls this shit? What is like Scarnecchio saying like during this whole, because you're in those.
No, I wasn't in a lot. I mean, I was in the Saturday night before the game staff meetings, and some off-season ones, not the everyday ones where they're talking about practice film and the game, game plans and stuff. They don't need me for those, man.
You got other
I
problems?
got other stuff to do. Yeah,
What kind of action will get a not good? Not good.
not what we're looking for.
So Matt told a story where it was about the email thing where he said something, or the buzzer, and he said specifically that you said first thing when
I
Matt
know.
walked in was not good. So what kind of thing will elicit a not good from you?
There's a term Bill uses a term in football and elsewhere. It's below the line. You know, if something's below the line, then we just can't have it. You know,
we need
jumping
it below
jumping offside, like shocking a damn coach at his desk, like that's below the line. Come on. Oh,
It
man.
gets me every time. To have the balls and the audacity to fucking sneak into the head coach's office. Let's
Right.
just put it. Let's paint the picture. This isn't an office that we all just like, hey, coach,
No.
how you doing, coach?
No, we don't do that.
I went in that office maybe 4 times in my career. I was there for 12 years, and 3 of them were like over contract stuff. And after that, one was I got suspended. Like
There you
that's
go.
the other one.
That covers it.
That covers it. And so for Matt Light to go in there and have a full beanie, a breaking and entering, and like it was.
You know what? I look at it this way: it's a grind. What you guys do is a grind, and like very few people can or would even have the mental toughness to go through it. Everybody's got their way of getting through it.
You know what?
And that's probably his way.
It
Part of
is, and I think Bill appreciated guys that did that kind of shit. He may not have showed it, and he may have yelled, but like he knew how big of a grind it was for us, and it was because of guys like Matt Light and the Rich Ornbergers and
Totally.
the guys that brought some light.
Right, Vrabel.
Vrabel, I wasn't.
Yeah.
No. You got any good Vrabel stories?
Yeah, but I'm gonna hold off. We'll do that one. I have it's probably until
All right.
You know what? There's too much. And during rookie skits and other joke times where, like, we don't need to get into like male, sexual conversation. Like, it's too much. Like, guys, I don't understand why you guys did use that humor. But the Vrabel thing kind of goes down that path. But I'm gonna leave that out.
What was the best rookie skit that you ever remember? What was
Which
your
one?
favorite?
Wow, there's so many good ones. I mean, there was a guy going way back. He's an offensive lineman. He did a pretty good Charlie Weiss impersonation. Really good. His name was, I think it was Dan Stevenson from Notre Dame, but probably never played. But he could eat butter.
He could eat butter.
No, but back to what you're saying about Bill, like, I totally agree. Like, he knows that you need more than just like robotic activity all day long.
Yeah.
But he also knows like who he is and what his game is and isn't. So if he's not going to go do that. But if someone else is going to do it, then now we have it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to come from him. It comes from Light or Vrabel or, Dan Stevenson.
Dan Stevenson. All right.
There was a rookie. Actually, no, it wasn't a rookie skit because Bill was in it. It was just it was kind of like a team building thing that we broke the team up and the coaches and everybody had a role in it, and they reenacted a Broadway musical, and Bill actually sang in this.
I remember
Love
the
Potion number 9.
Wait.
He sang in front of the team. That was a memorable one. Not a rookie skit, but it was kind of like talent show ish event.
So Bill's got. What year was this?
It's probably around 2020, 21 maybe.
This is when was this the
Right before, I think it's probably right
we had
before
Jack
COVID.
Easter? Was this the Jack Easterby thing where instead of doing rookie skits, we all had to like
It might have
do
been
team
right.
things?
It could have been in there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where is that footage?
Well,
No.
no. Some things.
Wow.
Access.
Oliver's
At
Twist,
times.
starring Bill Belichick.
In his Broadway debut.
All right. Let's get back.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about New York.
Yeah, let's go back to 1997,
Oh wow.
September 14th. This is a segment we like to go over pop culture things around the time the game took place. Number one movie was The Game. You remember this movie?
I remember that. I didn't see this.
It's a great movie.
Great San Francisco movie, too.
Great San Francisco movie. Honey by Mariah Carey was number one song. We all remember.
Julian favorite?
Huh?
A Julian favorite?
Yes.
I do love Mariah Carey.
The real heads know your love for Mariah.
Long Island, baby.
Wait. Speaking of music, you used to pick the practice music, didn't you?
Yeah, I am a music guy. I'll say that. I enjoyed that. Although
Brady
it's hard. It's hard to please a football team because you got a lot of.
Where do you even start?
diversity.
There's only so many times you can listen to.
Here's where you start. For crowd noise, to simulate crowd noise at practice, we just play. This is way before you. Just noise, static. Just yeah, like that was our noise, and it was brutal. So then we went to music, and it was probably like I don't know, maybe 01, 02, and I'm playing some hip hop song with regular lyrics, the lyrics, and not clean. And I'd been doing this, and then one day, Anthony Pleasant, who was a veteran defensive lineman, kind of like, not quite Matt Slater, but along those lines of Matt Slater of the team at that time, and he went to Bill, and he said, like, seriously, I do not want to hear some of these words. Of course, Bill doesn't say anything to me, so I play it again. In the middle of practice, Bill comes over, he's, what the F are you playing those songs? You can't play the clean lyrics. Okay. So from then on, it was all clean lyrics. Hip hop, rock, Bon Jovi, and Springsteen. That's where you start.
Yeah, baby.
Bon Jovi and Springsteen is where you
goats.
start until, that gets old-ish. Bon Jovi never gets old. But,
Never gets old.
so then we added in country, whatever.
Who is the number one guy to come up to request music? Because you guys, let me paint the picture for you guys.
Yeah.
Berj would be out there like Diplo. He had these
I was
two
into
big,
it, man.
He
I was
had
into
two
it.
big ass speakers, and he had
Loud.
like a turntable, and you'd see him there with his iPod and shit. We're in the middle of a practice.
Yeah.
What is Rainy Moss's song was always Friday practice. Every day a star is born. It was a Jay-Z. Every time Bears would throw that on, Rady would look at me and go, this is what they played on my birthday.
The Moss Man. Love him. Love that guy.
What do you got?
Love
Any
that
Moss
guy.
stories?
Yeah, I got some Moss stories. But you know what? Who was it? Steve Gostkowski. He was adamant about some songs now. Specific Christmas songs, specific. He was.
Wait, while we're on music, can I butt in here real quick?
Yeah.
Bears, I was creeping on your Instagram before this just to do my due diligence and prep. How the heck was the Dead at the Sphere?
Oh, that was
I was
good.
so
It
jealous,
might have
man.
been the best show I've ever seen, and I mean show. I've been a Dead fan a long time, and
Same.
I love their music. I mean, it just works for me. All of it, it just works. So I saw them here at Fenway last year. Thought it was great, and that was the last tour. That was it, and then here they are, residency at the Sphere, and I was like, I got to do it. So just it really no dates work. So I just made the date work. Memorial Day. I was going alone, but then I found a guy came with me. We went, and it was incredible. Just it's like an IMAX. You've been in an IMAX theater, but it's that times 100.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It looked incredible.
And Mayer, I mean, that guy, John Mayer,
He's the best, one of the
magician.
best. All right, let's jump into the game. Jack, can you set the stage for the New York Football Jets?
Gotta start out with the Jets. This is the first year of the Big Tuna era,
Big Tuna.
which is pretty crazy to think.
And the first year of the Bears era.
And the first year of the Bears era, right?
Well, actually, no. I started at the Jets mid-season in '95.
Okay, I knew
So
it was in that window.
I was before this actual regime came in, which is great for me. It was awesome because to go back one step further, I started at the Knicks as an intern, total slap, in the '94 season. Okay, in media relations. I was a media relations intern, and it was awesome. Like, I'm from New York. Okay, I'm in the end. I mean, I'm Bostonian now, but in my heart, I'm a New Yorker, and the New York sports scene is where this all started for me. And when the Knicks are going, like they were going pretty good this year, like there's nothing like it in New York City. So I was with the Knicks when they were going. Yeah. Pat Riley, Patrick Ewing, all these guys that they show now, John Stark. I mean, I could name the whole team. Yes. So anyway, I started then. And I was at the Knicks for a couple of years, and that's when Van Gundy, but I wasn't full-time. That led to a job at the Jets in media relations because the organizations knew each other, whatever. One thing led to another. Now I'm at the Jets, but I continued working at the Knicks just on game days. And it was amazing. Like I sat there like at the door where the celebrities and the media came in and handed out credentials and tickets to like whoever it was. And just like now, like there were some notable people coming through there. And media. Spike, he was a season ticket holder, so he had his tickets, but it was the people that would come just for the game and, needed their ticket.
Rules.
Like Stephen A. Smith, when he was a basketball writer at the Philadelphia Inquirer. Like a lot of people that, kind of moved up, like all of us, they were something else in the mid-'90s. So the Knicks were very corporate. The very corporate organization owned by Viacom and now Cablevision, and it was an office building in New York City. It was amazing. I took the train in from Long Island every day. And so now I'm at the Jets, and it's very different. The Jets were owned by a family, Leon Hess of Hess Oil, and it was a family, not even a family-run organization because he wasn't around that much. He was around a couple times a year, so it was really kind of like a mom-and-pop type of organization. And I'll jump ahead now. The Patriots are a mix of both. Run like a business, no question, and killing it as a business, but family run, thin at the top. So my first two jobs was kind of like both ends of that, and then the Patriots kind of mixed it all together. But I started at the Jets midway through the '95 season. The team was horrendous. As much good fortune as I've had in football, it didn't start that way.
1-15, right?
3-13 my first year, 1-15 the second year. So 4-28 is the first 2 years. It's like this is not what I remember at the Knicks. And then here comes the new regime. Now Bill Parcells from New Jersey, a New York guy, like all the way, baseball fan, like New York Giants, like baseball fan, Knicks fans. We had a little connection on that. Won Super Bowls at the Giants, and just a New York guy. So he was like welcomed, beloved in New York. And you could tell right away, like this is gonna be a totally different deal. Like if things are a little loose, well, we're going opposite, and that's just him. Hard-nosed, tough, in your face, like no BS guy. Like Bill Belichick, Pat Riley, Bill O'Brien.
And
so that was the new kind of vibe around the team. And there were some good players. It was kind of like, not quite as good, but it's a little bit like the Patriots when Bill Belichick got there, where there are great players in place, but just, hadn't quite got to where they were a few years before. Jets had some good players now.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like I think about this stuff, like the history of rivalries. Like I grew up in New York, and like the Yankees and the Red Sox in the old days, the 70s and the 80s, when they were brawling, like legit brawls in games. Thurman Munson, Carlton Fisk, and like Bruins, Rangers fighting fans in the stands. Like there was some serious rivalries going on, but this one took it like to a different level because it wasn't as much on the field. It was like the off the field stuff, the off field drama with coaches and front office and players switching teams and the whole New York Boston rivalry and even at that time, and I know this because I was one of them. I grew up in New York, went to school in Boston, college in Boston. There was a lot of that going on in that 80s, 90s where there was an influx of young people from New York going to college in Boston that brought a whole new kind of aspect to it of the rivalry. And then this game was kind of took it to the next level.
It's like I was trying to think of like how to equate it to a modern sort of rivalry, and you just can't, like with the coaching changes, the players changes, the back and forth. Like
be like Andy Reid going to the Raiders.
it's just like I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
And it being
Literally.
messy on his way out of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then the best player, then Mahomes having, I mean, just a quick little, this is one thing with Curtis Martin, who's on the Patriots. It's like had 3 years or 2 or 3 years, good player, very productive player, had some injuries. There was a contract aspect going on. Were the Patriots going to sign him? Were they not going to sign him? So Parcells loved Curtis Martin from his time at the Patriots. So he signs Curtis. He was a restricted free agent. He signs him to an offer sheet to come to the Jets. Okay. In this offer sheet, it says that Curtis Martin has to be the highest paid player on the team. Can't do this now. And the Patriots couldn't match that because Bledsoe was there. And he was, the Patriots didn't have an established quarterback. It was Neil O'Donnell, from the old regime. It was Glenn Foley, Boston College.
Yeah.
BC, baby.
BC.
So they could do that. That's also one of the many rules that have come up probably out of this rivalry as well, is that poison pill in the contract. You can't do that anymore. So Curtis Martin ended up going to the Jets, having a Hall of Fame career.
Jesus.
That's just one thing. I mean,
This game that we're covering is his highest rushing yard.
199.
199, a touchdown.
right. I think he had like 7 carries on the game-winning drive in overtime.
Yeah, it was all
and this
incredible.
game, like the Patriots had a really good team. And I'll give you one more. Who's on the sideline in this game for the Patriots? Pete Carroll's the head coach. Turned out to be quite a that's
Hall
a
of
good
Fame
hire
head
then.
coach.
And he's, national championship at college, Super Bowl in the end. So a great coach who a few years before, head coach of the Jets for 1 year. They fired him after 1 year. So Pete Carroll was the head coach of the Jets.
Yeah.
People don't really talk about that as much in this game, but there's another one.
So I'd love because I didn't realize that you were in the Jets organization before Parcells came in.
Yeah.
What was the vibe, the buzz? What was going on from the Jets' perspective when Parcells started the rumblings of potentially joining the Jets while he was under contract with the Patriots?
From what I recall, it was if you can get Parcells, you get Parcells. Now remember, the team is 4-28. So if it wasn't Parcells, it could have been somebody else coming in, as a new head coach anyway.
But if you get Parcells,
You had instant credibility right away. And whatever he wants, he gets, and he's going to do, and you're going to get better. Team was in the AFC Championship game the next year, 12-4 season. But yeah, that game, the Patriots were good. The Jets were not good. So the pressure was all on the Patriots. You got to win this game. You can't let this guy leave
Yeah.
the way he left and come back. Week 3, national TV, Patriots are 2-0 and win here. Like that would have been disastrous. So the Patriots had to win that game and barely did. They were the better team, but took a lot of body blows on the way. It's like Rocky won.
Rocky
Well,
won.
look at it. Rocky won. Apollo wins, but it took a lot.
Was that week of practice and prep? How was that week?
In
going
New York, it wasn't nearly what it was. I think up here because all the information was there, like newspaper and on the radio, like that was it. You could tell like up here it meant everything. Down there was like the team's just kind of getting started here,
Yeah.
trying try not to piss him off. I personally, because I was into this stuff, like I wanted to win it for him because I knew it was a big deal for that. But within the team, I think they could sense it, once the buses are getting pelted. Like the Jets buses didn't get pelted very much at 1 in 15. Like 1 in 15 buses don't get pelted.
9-7, you're getting pelted though.
9-7 this year.
What a turn! I mean, incredible turnaround in 1 year. Go to 1 in 15 to 9-7 is just nuts.
Yeah, and right on the edge, right on the edge of the playoffs.
Also, something that kind of gets lost here a little bit because there's a couple times with coaching intrigue back and forth between the Jets and the Patriots is during this time here, Coach Belichick was named head coach for like 6 days.
Right.
And Coach Parcells was coaching consultant.
So even that was, during those times, the policies and the rule, like it was a lot different than it is now. There were a lot of loopholes or gray areas, and they were operated in. But even that one was too far, and the league stepped in and had to broker a deal. They couldn't just let him be there as a consultant.
Mr. Kraft saw through
but in
one.
that week, the staff started getting built. Like Bill Belichick was the head coach, and Scott Pioli was hired, and Mike Tannenbaum, and things were kind of like set up. How much Bill Parcells was involved, I'm not really sure. But the fact that Scott Pioli was brought in and he was a Bill Belichick guy means that Bill Belichick was making some decisions. Scott didn't have any connection to Parcells.
Who brought in Charlie?
He came. That's a good question. I don't remember the timing of that because he was on Parcells' staff. He was never on Bill's. They were friends and they were close. It was probably Parcells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of the Patriots dynasty brain trust inner circle was developed on this Jets team. Can you speak a little bit to that? You mentioned Pioli, Mangini, yourself. Can you just talk about how that kind of happened in New York?
Right. Well, Scott Pioli in particular, he goes back to Cleveland for several years with Bill Belichick. So they had already been involved with building a team together, and Mike Tannenbaum came kind of on the tail end of that. So they already had a working relationship. They had already done it at an organization, and then they took that to the Jets and then add Parcells, and it went from there. So a lot of this actually goes back to Cleveland too, with Bill Belichick and Scott, and Mike and Eric too. He's definitely in part of this.
Yeah.
And what was your process to kind of, because you were with the Jets before, to kind of get inside of there?
So like I said, I was in media relations, okay? And if you're in media relations and in the department of 5, year 5, you don't have natural crossover with the defensive coordinator, assistant head coach, Bill Belichick. Like that something has to happen. What happened was, and it's actually a story that I tell people and my kids about, you never know. So when I was at the Jets in the previous regime, one of my jobs was to work with the radio broadcast crew during a game and write down stats, like things that happen. Like they didn't have all these great instantaneous things. You'd have to, maybe for TV, but not for radio. So I did a lot of things by hand, and I would give notes to the announcers. One of the announcers, the analyst, was Dave Jennings, a guy by the name of Dave Jennings, who's a great guy. He passed away way too early. He was a great punter for the New York Giants in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Giants weren't very good. At times he was the best player on the team, but he was a Pro Bowl punter. And Bill coached him when he coached special teams at the Giants. I don't know this. I don't know Bill Belichick. But Dave was a radio analyst, like the Scott Zolak, okay, of the Jets. And he was a Giant. And in New York, people are very passionate about their sports. Just like Boston, very passionate. But in New York, there's 2 teams for every sport. So yeah, you got rivalries. You got Yankees, Red Sox, but you also got Yankees, Mets. There's a lot of tension there.
Subway tension.
Absolutely. So the Giants and the Jets, they're enemies. And it went up at that time. I don't know what it's like now, but at that time, it was a front office thing too. Like the Jet people didn't really like the Giant people. So here's Dave Jennings, known as a Giants player, even though he played the Jets a couple of years at the end of his career, but he was a Giant. But he's a Jet color guy on the radio, and he was blunt. He would tell it like it is. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He would hammer the team. He would hammer the team when he went on the radio just as a guest, and they didn't like him very much. But what do I know? I'm 20-something years old. I'm there. I'm at practice. I'm talking to him. I like the guy. So we became friends. Well, a few years later, in comes a new regime. In comes Bill Belichick as part of the new regime. Dave Jennings introduces me to Bill Belichick because they're friends from back of the Giants. And that's kind of where it got started. And, I was kind of in that little circle of Bill, Scott Pioli, Mike Tannenbaum, Eric Mangini, and that was kind of it. So that's how it kind of got started.
So those
relationships, which you know all about.
Do I?
Yeah. I know.
So
you
was
do.
that like?
Yeah.
Were they a close knit group? That whole little eventual Patriot coaching staff, like in the cafeteria, were those guys always sitting next to each other, like talking? And was that their rat pack?
Absolutely. It would be go out. We don't do that so much anymore, but it would be like go out somewhere. We went to the Belmont together.
Yeah.
It was the end of minicamp. It's pretty funny. It was the end of minicamp. It was the last practice, and then we get in a car and go to the Belmont, fill up the trunk with some beverages.
Yeah.
We get there. Bill's driving. We pull in, and it's a mess. Like, we don't have passes, so we're just kind of driving in, and we get stopped there. We're just trying to park, and the guy's like, "You can't go here." And Bill points over. He goes, "That's Eric Mangini. Like, let us in." Like, he's like, nobody. Like, the guy doesn't know Mangini.
Who says Bill's not funny?
There was a very limited media on you when we were doing some research, but we found an article from 2000.
Drove up.
Whatnot, that
Yeah.
skip ahead a little bit. That when when Bill moved to the Patriots, you guys all drove together from New Jersey to Foxborough.
Yeah. It was Bill driving, me and Eric. That was the group that came up.
What kind of car?
Probably a station wagon. I bet it's a Bill station wagon. I think that's what.
Did Bill did have that station wagon that he was driving in that '95 Browns footage? Was it a station wagon?
Station wagon guy. I love it.
What's the conversation like that? It's like, oh, we want to do this. Is it already in work mode, thinking about what to do when you get to New England, or is it just like, hey, we should stop at this last deli? That's the last New York deli.
Yeah.
On the
probably
drive.
it was probably some of that, and it was probably just how's this day going to go with the press conference, and just what's happening in the next immediate hours and day. That was 2000. The 3 people who started the Patriots in 2000? 3 people. I mean, there's more than 3 people, but
The what?
in the year 2000 was Bill's first year, it was Tom's first year, and my first year, man. That's pretty good company.
Talk about a trio.
You know what I'm saying? I kid. Come on, man.
Ernie too.
Ernie
came back.
Ernie did too. Yeah. After killing it out there in the business world.
We won't get into that.
We're gonna get stock ticks out of him one of these days.
Yeah,
we're getting those tips.
Good luck.
Let's
Good
do
luck.
the Jets real quick. Let's do Pats real quick. And then
Run through these Jets real quick. As we said, 9-7, narrowly missed the playoffs. Huge turnaround from the year before, 1-15. Mo Lewis, we all know Mo Lewis, the lone Pro Bowler this season. This was the first winning season for the Jets since '88. So, Bill Parcells came in and made that immediate impact. 1 year. The Tuna knew how to turn things around.
And we did the same thing with the Patriots too. Took them to the Super Bowl like that.
This was 1 year. This was 1 year after Keyshawn was drafted number 1 overall in the '96 draft.
Good friend. Great guy. Good friend of mine.
And didn't you work with him?
Yeah. He was the first pick in a draft, and he came in '96. And the first thing he did was come to my office, and we just kind of hit it off right away. LA guy.
Yeah.
Had some Armenian friends.
Heck yeah.
He had a
Went to his
great
wedding.
catch in this game too.
He did. Had a great touchdown. And Mo Lewis had a touchdown in this game.
Pick
This
six.
is a forgotten Mo Lewis Patriot moment. It was a
All he's doing
key
is beating up on
interception
Drew.
for a touchdown,
It's crazy.
in which he outran Sean Jefferson.
Mo
He's
had
a
the wheels,
fast
baby.
boy.
Mo had the wheels. And we're talking this Jets roster. We've mentioned these names. We've mentioned the Neil O'Donnells. We got Adrian Morrell. I mean, he carried the ball 300 times.
Wayne
this year.
Corbett, baby?
Wayne
Yeah, the
Corbett, the
Godfather.
Godfather. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Him and Jules have a similar play style. I've been told.
Yeah, we're both white
More than that.
and ferocious.
Go look up the photo of you and
Bears,
him
you
and
think-
Danny.
what are the similarities of our game?
Get open and catch the ball.
This guy, Bill.
Simple as that.
Get open and catch the ball.
Simple as that. Should we roll on to the Pats
do
real
this
quick?
Pats team quick.
This was a 10-6 Patriots team, pretty loaded roster on both sides of the ball. We mentioned it before. Then there are even some names that carried over into the Belichick era that you guys would know: the Willie McGinnis, the Ty Laws, the Lawyer Malloys of the world. Scott Zolak was backing up Bledsoe this year. It was
Troy
the
Brown.
first Troy Brown, First year of
Scott, he's always at the game of the Jets.
God, love Zoe. Love Zoe.
You know Zoe has a fake eye? Is that the rumor?
I think they're. I don't know exactly.
I think he's got
I know
a fake
he's got a
eye.
condition. I don't know exactly what's going on.
You got to ask him.
Yeah.
He's always got.
Carroll,
All right,
tell
Pete
you.
Carroll.
Ben
I don't
Coates
know.
had an incredible touchdown in this game.
It'd be pretty incredible if he was an NFL quarterback with one eye.
That would.
Depth perception. You can't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This was the first year of the Pete Carroll era, as we mentioned. This was Bledsoe's 5th year in the NFL, so already pretty established in there. Played under Parcells all those years, and they kind of butted heads a little bit. Is that right, Berj? A little.
The Parcells?
Bill, him and Bledsoe.
I think
sort
so.
of.
I mean, I wasn't here.
Oh,
but-
I got you.
I've heard, yeah.
Okay, and
But he does that with all his careers. Same thing with Phil Simms. I mean,
yeah, Phil was on here telling us stories. The plane ticket is in the drawer. Did he say that too? Did he say that?
So I think, just audience, I think the big takeaway from this Patriots team is that talking about this Parcells, Belichick, Jets, Patriots kind of back and forth. Yeah. That this Patriots team, the core, was really kind of a Parcells leftover that became the Belichick pickup for the early part of the dynasty in the Patriots organization.
And this was
Fair to say?
Yeah, for sure. And 2 more points we got to hit before we move on. Coming off a loss in Super Bowl 31, we lost to the Packers. Terry Glenn's 2nd year in the NFL too, and lost in the divisional round at Pittsburgh to a coach with another good name, the Chin baby, Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher.
We kind of already covered the Parcells exit already, so we can kind of we did some research on the compensation for the draft picks back and forth. No one really of note to really mention, so just kind of that the league stepped in. There was some back and forth. Parcells was pretty much out the door while the Patriots were playing in the Super Bowl. Some intrigue, some back and forth. We mentioned the consultant, the head coach of Belichick, and then led us into this game.
Now memories coming back on Parcells. Like,
So what is the first thing? What's that first memory of Coach Parcells after working with him for, you're 5 games in?
No, this is like my first memory of him, period. My interaction with him was maybe like, I don't know, it was probably like a couple of months into his time at the Jets. And I don't really have anything to do with him. We had a head of media relations and someone else. But I get called up to his office. The coach wants to see you. So, okay. I go up there and walk in, and he goes, I think he said something about the Knicks because he's always has. That's one of the things about Parcells. Like, he has something with everybody, like a little connection to kind of break the ice or have a little personal rapport. So that was it with me. But then he said, "You see this?" And he takes out this laminated piece of paper. The NFL schedule for next season had just come out, so all the games are listed for each week, but on paper. So he had this one sheet. And on one side, it was week 1, week 2, week 3. And then on the top, it was all the teams, ATL, ARZ, CAR, all the way down. And then in each box, and there was a grid of 256 games, who's playing who, the time of the game, and where it was, and the day. Like if it was not a Sunday, if it was Monday, you put MON. If it was a Thursday, THE. So can you do this? Okay, I'll do it. Walk out. And there's a lot of information, and I'm about to leave his office, and he goes, "Hey, just remember this. 1 wrong, all wrong." Okay, coach. Not like, all right, do a good job with this. Thanks a lot. 1 wrong, all wrong. And that means like center it properly. And, it's a lot of information. It's not hard, but it's details. So I'm like, I can't F this up.
Was he a guy of just a million sayings?
Yes. He had a lot. Yes. He had a lot of sayings. Like, I mean, if they don't bite as puppies, they're not going to bite as a dog. Meaning, if a rookie isn't tough when you get them, they ain't going to get tough.
Can't buy toughness.
So I stayed up like all night, and I think I had my mom double checking it.
Did Jules bite as a puppy?
Absolutely. Has anyone talked about the playoff game? I mean, it's a horrible game. Playoff game in 2009, his rookie year. Lose to the Ravens. The Ray Rice first play.
It's come up a few times, but we've never dedicated an
Just
episode.
the hit, right? Is that
I mean, Bill has talked about this like numerous times with the team. Like the best player on the field in that game for us.
Coming out party.
We had some good players on the team, but not that day.
This was in 09?
Other than him. This is 09 Ravens.
So then what happened between 09 and when he really kind of like stuck on?
Well, he
Was it
didn't say that at the time. He said that a lot
later. Well, he couldn't say
couple
that at
Super
the
Bowls
time.
later.
All right, Jack. Let's do this game because this was actually sometimes these old games don't really aren't really interesting. Maybe the storyline or the themes are more interesting than the actual gameplay itself. This is a great game with an overtime Adam Vinatieri field. Like, Jack, why don't you hit us up on?
Well, before we get into that, I got to give my guy some shine. Back to that 09 playoff game against the Ravens. 6 catches, 44 yards, 2 touchdowns. Let's not
6
forget.
catches, 44 yards.
Hey,
Two tutties.
2 tugs.
Let's
the
not
tutties
forget.
win red area.
I would have guessed more than that.
I know.
I had a good
44
punt return
yards.
too. Good punt return.
But let's
Bill liked the punt. I remember Bill put the punt return on the highlights out of our exit. That's the one.
How involved were you with BillTube and the cut-ups?
That was all film.
I didn't really watch the game film. I watched a lot of TV copies, our games and other games. Because a lot of times you get better shots, you get good replays, you get officials or announcers saying things that help make.
They interviewed the staff beforehand.
Yeah.
A little
Or they just explain what's going on, especially officiating. So we had a lot of those teaching tapes or situations to learn from, the weird things that happen once in a while that Bill likes to talk about.
So this was a sloppy game.
This was a wild one. Intense from the jump. Foxborough Stadium is rocking.
Rocking.
We got the old starter jerseys on. We got the baggy polos. We got the pleated khakis. This is peak 90s football. As you said, sloppy game a little bit.
6 turnovers.
6 turnovers. A little bit sloppy, but still exciting.
2 block kicks.
2 block kicks. Lead changes or ties 7 times. It's back and forth all night. The Patriots start early with a crazy 63-yard kick return. Sets up a quick strike to Ben Coates. Pats go up 7-0. Neil O'Donnell, not a known runner, runs one in to tie it up. Yeah. Then when Patriots knock again, come back, Curtis Martin punches one in, go up 14-7 in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, the Jets knock in a field goal. We're at 14-10 at the half. Then in the third, Mo Lewis once again, just killing Bledsoe any chance he gets. This time,
Phrasing.
A pick. Sorry, too soon. Still too soon, maybe. 43-yard pick six. The Jets are up 17-14.
Oh, Lewis owned them.
And it's getting tight. It's getting tight.
The air gets sucked out of that building, I hear.
What do you mean it's getting tight, Berj?
The Patriots had to win this game.
They had to win this game.
There's no alternative. Had to win this game. And it starts going. And it's going the other way now.
Now it's like, oh, crap. They got the lead. Like, this is a one, like, expectations for this Jets team were still pretty low after a 1-15 season.
It's almost like not even, well, we're going to win. It's just we got to embarrass the guy. We got to embarrass it. Like, winning is, like, that's happening.
Yeah.
It's like, how bad is it going to be?
Crazy. Now the back and forth really starts. Adam Vinatieri, Mr. Clutch. This is before the snow kicks. This is before all that. Ties it up 17-17. Patriots get a stop, come back. Lovett Purnell's filling in for Ben Coates. Knocked out at this point. Ben Coates gets knocked out of the game. Go up 24-17. Late. Then, as we
only first catch of the
never
caught the ball.
Not a household name. No shade to Lovett, but not a household name. Then we come back. We alluded to this one earlier. Keyshawn Johnson, an incredible back of the end zone 24-yarder from O'Donnell.
The 1-9.
Time waiting.
The
1-9. Oh my God!
You love
That was
some
an TD drive. How much time left was it
20. We got like 29 seconds left
in the game?
Yeah.
Yep.
24-24 kickoff.
Wait. You know what's going to happen on this ensuing kickoff?
The fumble.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Well,
Derek.
let's
Derek Colors.
talk-
I'm sorry, brother.
Let's talk through that because I think that was let's talk about how do you remember the Keyshawn Johnson touchdown or that drive? Do you remember anything first? It was a while ago, but
I remember
seconds left.
Keyshawn and I are friends, and we were very close then. And the fact that he made that catch, and that guy's a competitor. Parcells loved him because he blocked, he worked, he was tough, had some personality to him. They really clicked from the beginning, and I was happy for him that he made that play. It was, I don't know if the game gets tied without that play.
Were you in the press box for this one?
I was.
Okay,
Yeah, I was jotting down notes to Dave Jennings and the radio guys.
because the commentary from the broadcast was that Johnson was a little bit kind of where was he when we need him the most for the Jets in like the fourth quarter. Wasn't a lot of plays they weren't really going to him. So this big play at the end was kind of like, oh, here he is. Yeah. Big moment, big play, shows up, great catch in the corner, ties the game, right?
I mean, who's his quarterback? Exactly. And come on, guys.
All right, so take us through.
What do the announcers know?
Well, so you remember what happened after that, right?
Yeah.
Can you walk us through that?
Yeah.
Keyshawn scores.
He scores. Okay, so now there's 30-something seconds left. Game's going to go to overtime, most likely, right?
Right.
But no.
No.
I mean, How often does a kickoff return get fumbled? Not very often.
Not very often
Hey.
at all.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
2009
Yeah.
opener.
Right.
Remember scare weather knocked him.
Yeah. I
Same
do.
thing.
I do.
Keep going.
Absolutely. It's the same kind of similar situation too. At the end, you need to score, right? Well, this was tied. So now he fumbles, Jets recover, and now the Jets are going to win, like somehow. Because the Patriots have been in control most of the way, and there's kind of wacky plays here and there. Now the Jets are going to win. Just run it down, line up for a short field goal.
Easy.
Routine.
And this is going to be a catastrophe in New England. So, line up for the field goal. It gets blocked.
Oh,
Rookie John
Gets
Hall.
blocked. Rookie John Hall. And I actually
29 yarders, all he needs.
Right. They came in.
how pissed is
Mike Jones.
Parcells after that?
I don't know. I don't think he showed it, but I think after Keyshawn, you saw him after that, after he scored a touchdown, I think he thought we might steal this game. And it was there to be stolen. So now we go to overtime. And you know what happens here?
Curtis.
No, but yes.
Before that,
Before that, Patriots get the ball. Okay, move it a little bit. Interception. Otis Smith,
Otis, my
future
man.
Patriot
Yeah.
and Super Bowl contributor.
Oh, wow.
Otis Smith intercepts the ball. Who tackles him? By the way, after he intercepts the pass, Troy Brown makes the tackle. I think he might have had some room to run, but Troy tackled him. And
Always Troy. Never gives up on a play. Keep going.
right.
San Diego
Seen
game.
that.
San Diego Troy.
Um,
Talked about it yesterday with him.
It's the ball's at midfield, so again, another chance, but nothing happens there as sack or a penalty, whatever. So now punt it back to New England, and then Curtis Martin
All the way down.
all the way down.
42
might-
yards. on that one.
Adam
Just his
Vinatieri
runs.
And Adam Vinatieri,
lines up. What's the flight home? You guys lose. Heartbreak. Overtime. Should have won
that
3
game,
times.
that game for the Jets is just unfortunate because of what it could have been, but it wasn't what it would have been if you were the Patriots and lost. You know, it was disappointing. Like, you had those games. Like, it would have been nice. It's unfortunate. It's a shame. It's a shame it didn't happen on front of the Jets side for Parcells and all that and getting the program going. But it was a different level than the New England side.
How are you in the locker room at the end of the game when Parcells is addressing the team?
No, I wasn't really in there. It's probably
What about
still coming
Monday?
down.
The Monday, were you there? Were you in a team meeting
I wasn't really in the team meetings at that
stage of your career?
Yeah, I started that in 2000.
To put
Jack-
a bow on this game, as we just said, Adam Vinatieri knocks one home after an incredible drive led by Curtis Martin in overtime after the Patriots got the ball back. 62 yards in 9 plays. 42 of those yards were just Curtis Martin rushes. Patriots win 27-24. Curtis Martin ran the ball 40 times. 40 carries? What? For 199 yards, 1 touchdown? Go ahead, Kai.
I
Sorry.
pine for this era of football of just like, I'm just going to give it to my back and we're just going to go down the field. We're going to punch it in and you're just not going to do anything about it. Oh, I missed that.
No, sorry to tell you.
Yeah, not 13 seconds left. Oh, we can get 2 scores here. Yeah,
Right.
we'll see.
I like my backs wearing big elbow pads.
Yeah.
Big
Grinding it out.
I mean, one of the best, most exciting Week 3 games we've ever even mentioned on this show, or ever.
Yeah.
Incredible.
However much it could get ramped up, that's what it was. It was like, I mean, different because everyone, obviously the biggest comeback game, come home game is Tom. Came back with Tampa, and that was massive. But it was a different vibe. It was love for Tom. It was different sort of methods of promotion and hype.
Football.
This was kind of old school.
This is old school. I hate
Vitriol.
you. You
Old
hate
school
us.
Bad
Vitriol.
blood.
Vitriol. Can you? That's a high syllable word that me and you do not know. What did Bill say? That you
I'm
just
unimpressed.
unimpressed.
I'm just trying to follow Matt Light's footsteps here.
And the storylines continue after the game. New England would get out to a 5-1 start, finish 10-6, losing in the divisional round to Pittsburgh. The Jets would beat the Patriots 24-19, get a little revenge in the Week 8 matchup in the Meadowlands. Jets would ultimately finish 9-7, third in the AFC East, and just narrowly miss the playoffs. But it doesn't end there. A couple years down the
What else?
road.
There's more.
But wait, there's more. Paul Tagliabue is earning his money between this rivalry. I mean, he's got to be sitting at his desk like, these guys again? These guys again? A couple years later, back in 99,
Fucking tell.
Bill Parcells steps down as the head coach of the Jets. And then there's the plan in place for Bill to succeed him, right?
Right.
Then Pete Carroll also fired in New England in 99. So the New England job's open. Then we infamously get the Bill Belichick spending one day as head coach of the Jets. The napkin.
Before we do that,
I don't think it was a napkin, by the way.
But is that...
Whoa. What was no napkin?
Huh?
No napkin? What was it?
It was a piece of paper.
Okay.
Okay, piece of paper.
We're talking legal, Pat?
I'm
What are
just
we
saying.
talking?
No, I have a notebook.
and who does he
Like,
give this to?
My understanding is he gave it to the team president, Steve Gutman.
This was at the press conference, like at the...
No, this
Okay.
was I think the day before,
Okay.
or maybe the morning of. I can't remember.
So before we get to the actual resignation in the Patriots, I just watched the Two Bills documentary, NFL Films, last night. Ken Rogers, shout out NFL Films, we love you.
Love you.
There was supposedly a fax that came through from the Patriots organization to the Jets organization saying they wanted to interview Coach Belichick to potentially be their head coach.
Yeah.
There's some intrigue. There's some stuff. Do you have any insight on what happened there?
I think it was taken and balled up and thrown out. That's what I heard.
And that led to Parcells resigning to kind of trigger.
Right. Like, this doesn't mean that. I think that the intent was, this doesn't mean anything because other contractual things are in the works, underway. So this is invalid. The processes of requesting permission and all that, like, it's come a long way.
It's come a long way.
Do your inner circle with Coach Belichick at this time, do you have any conversations about this going on, or is he operating on his own with all this information and wanting to move some stuff?
And how does Bill get you to? We got napkin gate, whatever, this, that.
Whatever.
Not a napkin.
Just
it's
trying
a
to
piece of paper.
It's out there.
How does Bill ask you to come? Hey, Berj, will you come with me? How does he ask you? Berj, I know you've worked really hard. I know you're a New York guy.
Well,
like what?
I mean,
why don't
I
you
don't.
just-
I don't think there was ever one like specific conversation on this. Like Bill was interviewed for a job the previous year, the Raiders, and you know how it is. Like we formed a relationship, and we talked about things, whatever. It wasn't specific like, all right, I'm getting this job. This is your job. Let's go do it. You just kind of get a vibe like,
You want to come?
it feels like we might have a future together, but it wasn't a specific moment in time.
Never. He always keeps you in that gray. Is that his Jedi mind trick?
I don't think so. I think that's an overrated thing too about like how calculating he is on every last thing, because he is calculating on a lot of things when it comes to football, but not every last thing. So many press conferences that he was late for. He was coming from a meeting where he was locked in on whatever that was, and 30 seconds later he's in a press conference. He wasn't just going over like every last thing he was going to say and message to put out there. Like, I don't know.
He's not that smart.
Oh, he's smart. And he probably did do that sometimes, but it's just a little bit urban legend.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he wasn't saying Foxborough High every minute like everyone says.
Oh.
And sometimes
Wasn't writing
the
on
myth
napkins? But
Napkin gay. This is bullshit.
Hey,
It was a
we're learning
mean
new things.
three ring notepad.
Yes.
yes, like a gentleman. Napkins over here.
Like a
some
gentleman.
number at a bar. Come on, man. We're dispelling rumors. We're debunking over here today. Mythbusters, Games with Names edition. I like it. But just to wrap this up and put a neat bow on it, Berj, could you help us, since you lived through this and you were on the ground, boots on the ground in the building, kind of the timeline of events of Bill getting hired by the Jets, Parcells resigning, and then making the jump to New York, like how that played out, just kind of the
car
timeline
ride.
of events.
So was it napkin, and then you guys just got in the station wagon
Listen,
and just
I
said,
wasn't-
"Fuck, we're going to Foxborough."
Look, these are tense times here. These are tense times. I'm not like, and again, I'm not in the Parcells like Jets executive circles all the time. I'm not like meandering in and out of these conversations.
Yeah, you are.
I am not.
That's just a humble. That's
That's
humble.
a different
That's
me.
humble bears.
You know a different me. That was the old me.
Hey,
That
there was a
the
line-
slap me.
There was a
Okay?
line in the New York Times where it says, where you position yourself on every press conferences, out of sight, but within earshot. That's very
I tried.
deliberate.
I tried. I was actually in that press conference. I'll never forget where I was, like in the Jets auditorium. I was like halfway up on the left side, just watching. Like, ooh. One thing the media doesn't like, especially like New York media or Boston media, they don't like things that take them completely by surprise. They don't really like that, especially if they don't have they didn't see it coming. They don't have a great explanation. That's not a great scenario.
That's like a movie. Like Bill just going up there to be, and then he announces he's not going. Like, oh my God, what's going on?
He like winks to the camera, and then that's the end of the season.
Flashbulb.
Next season, Patriots.
Like a smirk, like a Succession season 2 ending.
I still remember those Jets Cadillac step and repeats that were always behind the podium.
Right. Yeah, you know who had the Cadillac deal? Bill Parcells.
Oh,
yeah. He drove that. That was his car, Cadillac.
loved a
going way back.
Cadillac.
I think he drove it like to Florida. He didn't like to fly. I think he drove it when he went down there in the winter. You know, like right after the season until whenever he came back, he drove that thing.
the Tuna mobile.
That's such a New England or northeastern, like New Jersey, kind of like going to Florida move. Just load up the Cadillac. We're going to Florida. So to kind of wrap up this thing, maybe the borrow phrase from you. What's the theme of this Coach Belichick Jets to Patriots transfer that happens?
What is the theme?
Drama.
And that's all we're just trying. We're trying to eliminate distractions.
Well, that was the wrong place for you because that's a lot of drama. I mean, that's the Patriot Jet theme. The Jet
Drama.
theme. Yeah,
Just drama.
And it never stopped.
Never
Right?
stopped.
The music never stopped.
Dead reference, baby. And we keep on daily.
And it never stopped. That, you know what? You know what's crazy? That little car ride in that station wagon. Little did we know, about 6-7 years later, when old Mangini takes jet job, I thought we'd all just be in the car. I thought we'd all be in the car, just listen to Dead, Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, and then, you know, all of a sudden Mangini, you know,
Again, drama.
drama. And that's the theme.
Yeah.
Drama.
I forgot. I don't know what you're talking about.
2 blinks for drama.
Well,
Could Bill have built the success that the Patriots had with the Jets if he were to be the Jets head coach right now? I don't think he could. I think the Jets
Hold on,
are just
not right now. Let's go. Sorry to reframe. Alternate reality. Coach Belichick was named head coach for that day. Had things worked out and he stayed, do you think he could have built what was built in New England in that organization with what was the pieces that were there?
well, I know that Bill already knew how to build a team. He built one in Cleveland. You can go. There have been documentaries about the 1995 Cleveland Browns and what that eventually became. So he knew how to build a team. It would be a reach for me to say it would have been 6 Super Bowls and all that because, as you know, and I feel I get the question, you got the question, Bill or Tom, whatever. It's everybody, man. It's everybody.
to everybody.
So it helps to have the best at the 2 most important positions, head coach and quarterback. Like, it helps to have that. But
I was going to say 3 best positions: football ops, quarterback, head coach.
yeah,
Keep going.
absolutely,
Keep
baby.
going. Sorry.
So, being honest, yeah, if you got everybody else, because that's it doesn't just happen, man. It takes people, you know.
Did he ever talk about what he learned in his time in Cleveland, Belichick?
Yeah,
Like the mistakes, like on the car ride up with you and Mangini. Was he sitting there like, all right, guys, you know, I'm probably not going to do this one. We're not going to do the PB&J live TV.
PB&J.
I don't think he mentioned that, but he, from a team building and football standpoint, no, he didn't. Not with me so much. I'm sure he had those conversations with Scott, Pioli, and Ernie, because those were the guys that really kind of set the tone to building the team. But from my standpoint, kind of off the field, it was, yeah, he was too much in the weeds and the details on everything, even things that are important, but someone else can handle.
Yeah.
You know, see the big picture more, which that he definitely said that. You know,
Yeah.
even though he probably still feels like he's in the weeds and a lot of stuff, but maybe not as much as it was in Cleveland.
So delegation and like building an organization team that you can trust to handle those kind of things.
Yeah, he definitely said that.
How do you sum up Parcells Jets era?
It was becoming a more professional outfit.
Yeah.
There are good players there when he got there.
Yeah.
And Then he added some more, but it was about running a professional program, which you know what that is. It's details. It's work. It's like not losing a game.
Not losing a game.
Serious, like
Not losing a practice.
yeah, no question. No
Every
question.
day matters, Bears.
Shaming guys out of the training room.
What is that?
That means that if you can be out there practicing, then be out there practicing. Like Vrabel would do this. Like you didn't see it, but like there'd be like some young guys in the training room. He'd get them out of there.
You can't make the club in the tub.
Facts.
You can't make the old club in the tub, Bears.
Have to wear a bathing suit in the tub.
Yes, we have. I mean, we have gray shorts,
Oh my goodness.
communal shorts. You don't want to just be sitting in the hot tub and all of a sudden,
No, you don't.
Unless your name is Bill Belichick.
unless your name's Bill Belichick.
Right.
Any leftover questions, Jackie?
I got a bunch. but
What do
I'll
we got?
settle
Did we
on
miss
one.
anything?
I got a million, but I'll settle on one.
You gotta get another plug for BC. Come on.
Oh, heck yeah. All right, I'll hurry up. I'll hurry
Boston
this up.
College. We got the whole thing. Billy O. We got to get Billy O on too.
You got to get Billy O on.
He talked about you all night, Jack.
I still don't believe
We,
it. I
we were
still don't
next to
believe
him
it.
in the bowels
I
of the
know, but he goes,
stadium.
"Where's Jack?"
I was next to
was
I
in the
want to
urinal
believe
next
it.
to him.
I love Billy. Oh my gosh.
All right,
It was
what
such
do
a
we
big-
miss, Jack?
I almost said hey, but we were in line for the bathroom and it was awkward. I too scared. I
This is
panicked.
a long coffee break that I just took.
All right. Last one. Bears, it's Bill Belichick has become sort of infamous for the post-game press conferences, the on to Cincinnati's, all of these sound bites that have taken on lives of their own. Is it true that like from Cleveland and over the years you were sort of the Belichick whisperer of how to craft the news conference and to soften some of those edges that may have been there in Cleveland?
Probably, yeah. Probably some of that.
Okay.
But not all. Like,
Okay.
Bill is Bill. Like, we didn't rehearse.
Okay. I didn't know if there were any
rehearse.
coaching points on the media.
Yeah, there were some coaching points on, delivery. Listen, Bill is Bill in the end.
Right.
But I think if you watch the Cleveland version, the New England version, probably looks a little different. So,
What's he going to look like in the next version?
Ooh.
I don't know. What do you know? What do you know?
I don't know, but what I do know, what I want to know.
Yeah. What
Is
do you want
when-
to know?
Let's just do a little. What
Control what
ifs.
you can control?
Let's do a little what ifs. I know we're not big in the what if game, but what
No,
if
hypotheticals?
what if the Dallas Cowboys go 11-6,
my childhood team.
lose in the first round, fire the coaching staff, bring in Belichick, bring in Josh McDaniels, bring in Scott Pioli,
Okay.
and they have one guy that they're calling. Hey, Bears, are you gonna come join us? Are you on that? Are you gonna go on? Are you gonna circle up with the wagon and go?
Go Eagles. Listen, in January, okay, looked like there was a decent chance he was going to Atlanta, like some legitimate interviews, right? And then he didn't go to Atlanta. Billy O'Brien was the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, and now he's at BC. You don't know how it's going to go. So
Crazy how
stay
things
tuned.
change.
Go Eagles.
Stay tuned. Go Eagles. Oh, so this is so if Sirianni goes 11-6 and they fire him after a first round exit.
Go Boston College Eagles.
Oh, Boston
See that?
College.
You see that?
Eagles fly.
Right on your
Boston
chest.
College. What's the fight song? Do we have a fight song?
There is a fight song. Billy loves to play it at practice. Oh my god, I haven't learned the whole thing yet, so I'm new, just trying to learn, man.
Jack, what did we go? We miss anything? Did we? Were we clean up?
We're pretty darn clean this episode, thankfully. Charlie Weiss did indeed get his start in the Parcells regime with the Jets back as a coaching assistant.
Coaching assistant.
So
Charlie's office.
Yep.
Used to have
Shout out to
we used to
Charlie.
have an office dedicated to Charlie.
People had no idea.
People.
had no idea.
Huh?
People had no idea. It was just referred to as Charlie's
No,
office.
that's
awesome.
They had no
never
clues.
He had never coached before because it was years after he was gone. But it's we'll go meet in Charlie's office.
Billy O had Charlie's office
He did.
for a while when I was there.
Jules said he had his own office where he would blast John Mayer out of after a hard practice. Can you confirm that?
I had a couple offices. Bears knows.
Love John Mayer.
We love Mayor.
All right, let's name the game. This is a segment where we score the game, we name the game, and you're the guest.
What are we
So
doing here?
the name of the game, we have the Tuna Bowl.
Okay.
We have the Tuna Meltdown, the Return of the Tuna, Bill Mageddon, or the spicy tuna bowl, or anything that you can think of. What is the name of this game? Week 3, 97, Jets Pats. Name of the game, Berj.
Hey,
Like
the Tuna Bowl.
Tuna Bowl.
There it is.
The Tuna Bowl.
The Tuna
That's
Bowl.
a great name.
Coach is coming back and playing against his former team. Let's score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Stakes 1 to 10, decimals okay, Bears. The stakes of a week 3 game.
Stakes. Because there are lots of different stakes. There's standings. There's, I'd say, oof. What's my scoring system?
1 to 10, decimals
10?
okay. Decimals
I'm going,
okay.
There's some high stakes in this game.
10
I'm
meaning
going
high, 1 meaning
9.
terrible.
Yeah, I'm going 9.
A 9 stakes.
Nice.
Regular season
Stakes
week
were
3.
high.
Right on the
Regular
line here.
but
Teams very high.
and then also the rule changes because of all the contract tamperings and this and that, and can they go? Is he the head coach? Is he not the? I mean, this is a lot of stakes. Star power.
Jules had a 6.9. Jack had a 7.3. I had a 6.9 as well.
Okay.
Star power.
Okay.
Hall of Fame coaches everywhere.
Coaches, it's
Players.
It would be a maximum Hall of Fame players: Curtis Martin, Ty Law, Adam to be quarterback. Drew, Patriot Hall of Famer. Other tons of Patriot. I'm gonna go 9 as well.
9.
Yeah.
Going.
Jules, you had a 7.8. Jack, you had a 6.2. And
Oh,
I
wow.
had a 7.6.
No,
Those are hard graders.
With the
We
Russian
just
judges.
did a game with, 22 Hall of Famers? Super Bowl 9.
Really?
Steelers versus Vikings.
Game play of the game. Little sloppy, 6 turnovers, but
yeah.
it was for the viewer kind of fun.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
90s.
Very fun.
I'll go lower on that one. Let's go 6.
6.
Yeah.
Jules had a 7.7. Jack had a 7.9. I had a 7.6.
And the name of the game, the Tuna Bowl.
That's
Bears.
classic name. Because it's a good name when they actually have sequels. Tuna 2, Tuna 3, like they had other ones. So I'll go 8.5 on this one.
8.5.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jules with an 8.
Oh yeah. See.
Jack with an 8.9. And myself with an
We're in line.
8.1.
We're in line.
A 7-7-1. Where's that stand in our games?
That puts us.
Okay. Top 20.
Right above another Jets-Patriots game, the Can't Wait game.
Can't
2011
fucking wait.
AFC
I
Divisional
hate that
Round.
game.
And
I
just
did
below,
too. Rich Eisen. He requested that game, Bears.
It's a bad game.
and
Yeah, he's
just-
a Jet fan.
Because of that, I had to
Freaking
tell
Bart
his sweet,
Scott.
beautiful wife that I will not come over for Shabbat dinner because he requested this dinner
We don't forget.
or this game.
We don't forget.
It's also just behind, only a 1/100th of a point behind the Super Bowl 21 Giants versus Broncos.
Bears, did we miss anything?
I think you covered it pretty good.
Did we cover it pretty good, or is there something else just sticking in that sponge of a brain you have?
No, we plugged. No. Maybe I'll be back. You never know.
You coming back?
I don't know.
And
If you'll have me.
Always
we
welcome.
got something to plug other than
Well,
Boston.
One more thing, because we're talking about Boston College.
Yeah.
I'm a big Virginia Tech guy. Is the ACC going to make it? What's happening?
Yeah,
Do you have
ACC will
anything?
make it. I mean, the AC. Look,
Basketball.
SEC and no, it's still football. Revenue, whatever. It's 80% or more. Like is football.
Okay, I'm just testing your knowledge. Bears.
ACC is.
Don't get mad at
in
me.
terms of revenues and all that,
Yeah.
is third behind of like 30 conferences. It's behind the Big Ten and the ACC with a longer TV contract. So ACC not going anywhere. I don't think. I don't. Obviously,
We
There's
hope
a lot-
not.
There's a lot still to be ironed out here, but I think they're on the right track. Charlie Baker, baby.
Charlie
Figure it out.
Baker.
It's an ACC podcast, I'm going to say.
Charlie Baker.
Jack disagrees. Okay.
BC.
What else?
There's a lot of good things going on there.
A lot of great
There
things
are.
at Boston College.
Yeah. Come
And
on.
then what
out.
else? We got some Armenia updates. We want to go
Yeah,
there.
I'm going. It'll be powerful.
It'll be very powerful.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of unfortunate things happening over there
A lot of
that don't get the publicity that other crises get. It's too bad.
It is,
They're bigger fish to fry in this world at times, but Armenians are very resilient.
but we are recognizing that here on Games with Names.
Thank you,
We are
a
recognizing
big deal.
that.
Billy.
We love you, Bears,
Love
Amen.
you too.
and I appreciate
I
you
love you
coming
too,
on.
man.
It's been awesome to pick your brain in a different way
Yeah.
than I usually do. Just
fun.
walking by your office and drawing a little picture on your whiteboard or something.
Yeah,
Remember-
he did. You know what? My favorite one. So there's a whiteboard in the hallway for whatever announcements or whatever, and it was usually like official things. Okay, except for
no
this
one
guy,
touched it.
Except for this guy would put other things. Like there was a time when everybody was moaning about like publicly media. Things are too hard at the Patriots. No one has fun. Blah blah blah. Well, one day, what's the message? Winning is fun.
Winning is fun.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Winning is fun.
Amen.
Makes everything else worth it.
And then I went away for my 4-game vacation.
Yeah.
And I came back, it was still there, and it stayed on that board all year long. We went and won a Super Bowl.
That was fun.
Parades are fun.
Hell yeah. Right out here.
Right out here. Awesome.
All right. Thanks, bro.
Appreciate you, Berj.
Love you. Thanks, guys.
Talk about a mythical character. Old Berj.
Berj, what a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy. He's one of those guys you only hear about, and he's referencing stories, and we've heard about him a lot in our Patriots episodes this season, and now putting a face to the name and a name to the Lord. That was awesome. What a treat.
It was awesome to get him to come in here, and I know he was pretty excited about this. He always talks. He always like DMs me on Instagram and stuff. Like the guy who used to pretty much watch all of Instagram, to have him like actually comment on like something good about our Instagram, pretty cool.
I like that.
Or TikTok or whatever it is, social. But it was pretty cool, and I actually got a chance to go talk to the BC football team, with Billy O'Brien and Berj there, and then talk to their whole football team, and it was pretty cool. Bunch of hungry guys, and get to tell them some of the stories and some of the things that helped me along my football career. Anytime you get to do that to a younger group, future generation, it makes you feel young.
How are they looking?
I didn't get to watch practice, but there's some big guys in there.
We didn't have an Applewood situation, did we?
No, not
That was Billy.
not Applewood situation. I know Billy.
Thanks, Coach O'Brien.
Coach O'Brien. They're gonna do good. Billy O's a smart football coach. He's passionate, and from just seeing the looks in these guys' eyes, you can always kind of tell who's looking at the guy. And I've been in a couple places. All right, this guy. What are we even here for? They were all pretty dialed and glued. So it was cool to see them. It was awesome campus is beautiful there. It's a beautiful campus.
Chestnut Hill, baby.
I'm excited to see what Billy O does there.
Me too. Yeah. Billy O, Berj. That was a fun day.
I think they're turning us into BC fans.
We got to come back and when they're playing.
I'm down.
I know.
That'd be so sweet. Those are two guys. Those guys are guys you want to root for.
100%.
Granted, we're Patriots homers, but Berj and Billy O, just awesome dudes. Awesome dudes.
Awesome guys. I love Billy O. He's a huge part of, me being in the league and having the success that I had. Him and Chatty O'Shea were the first people that Bill laid some tape on the desk and said, give me a write-up on this kid. He reminded me today that it wasn't for being a quarterback. He reminded me.
Man, it was so cool to get to see Billy O at Brady night too.
He's a fan.
He's a great. I love.
And
Billy.
he came up to me and was like, I love the show. It's on everything. Okay, yeah. He's like, no, I was even listening to Baron Davis. Like he was like trying to say how much of a head he was. So like he was like, when am I going to be on the show? So we'll have to find a time. We'll get him on the show.
Got to,
That'd be
man.
incredible.
I would do anything for Billy O on the show. He had such kind
he's
words
so
to
cool.
say to us, and I was tickled to get to hear how much of a fan he was, and it was really cool to see a guy you look up to saying he's a fan of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What were you say about Berj? Sorry.
And this was a great episode.
Yeah, Berj is great. I love that he gave us some stuff, but he didn't give us everything. He still was buttoned up. He told some stories here that you probably wouldn't have got when he was still with the Patriots, but he didn't tell everything, and I like that.
And then I got a quick Jack correction from this episode. I believe I failed to mention a big part of this game. Hugh Douglas, the Jets' best pass rusher, was out this game with a groin injury. So that was a big storyline heading into I forgot to touch on that.
Oh, God. Thank God we cleared that up.
Hey, Hugh Douglas out of Central State, baby, Division II guy, great pass rusher. I failed to mention that in the lead up, and it's been eating at me ever since.
Well, we're happy you got it cleared up, Jack.
Thank you. Man, it's so nostalgic for this era of football. Starter polo shirts, pleated khakis, guys, coaches with big
A lot of
personalities.
history in this game.
It was great. What a great choice by by Berj. That was awesome.
It was awesome. But now, let's hit the old hotline.
Oh,
and
yeah, baby.
remember, that number is 424-291-2290. Hit the old hotline. Let's see what we got.
Yo, Jules, what's up? Buffalo Blue right here. Big 716, your head. Honestly, even though you're a Patriots player, I got to say I love the podcast. I love listening to the stories you guys talk about on there. If I had one person I request you have on there, please have Freddie Fred, or try to get Freddie Fred on there. Big 22. I grew up watching that man. And I feel like you two will be able to talk about all of the nice Bills Patriots games y'all had back then. Y'all playing out Orchard Park, especially he can talk about some of the Miami games, and then y'all could probably talk about that too, because Miami in that division too. All right, Jules, keep it up though. Appreciate it.
Is this a Bills Mafia fan calling in?
I think so. We're even converting Bills Mafia to be games with names heads. I like that.
I always loved the Bills Mafia. And anytime I go anywhere, if I'm at like a sporting event thing, I end up hanging. A Buffalo fan is always like heckling me, but honestly, awesome dudes or ladies. You know, there's a guy with his wife. We were at something for the win, and like we were sitting next to each other, and I feel like it's either a Boston. There's always either non-Boston fans that like hang out. We'll have like Bills Mafia, and there's always like a Philly person. I don't know why. Randomly, I was skiing somewhere or snowboarding somewhere, and I ended up hanging out with this Philly guy. Hated me for the first 2 seconds, but then opens up like the greatest dude ever, you know. But we got to get Freddie Fred. Is he talking about Fred Jackson?
I think so. That took me a second, but yes.
Fred Jackson. He was a really good football player, running back. He tore us up. I remember Bill always giving him great highlights. Bill would always give like a 12, 13 play cut up on the running backs for the Buffalo Bills, how they didn't always get the highest recognition, but they were always just the toughest guys.
We got to do a Bills game where they win. We've done a couple of them where they've lost.
We definitely got to get we got to give some wins.
Man, Fred Jackson out of College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I love that.
Yeah.
D3.
Beast. We also got to get Fred Taylor, speaking of Freddie Freds on
that's where I thought Fred Taylor,
first,
but then
and then I put the context clues of Buffalo.
No, we'll have to get him on.
I'm down.
We appreciate the call, Blu-ray Buffalo Blu-ray.
Not to be confused with DVD player Buffalo.
Well,
VHS.
Hey guys, Luke here from California. Just want to say, been a very good podcast with these last few episodes. Bangers. One game I would like you guys to go over is the Bills versus the Chiefs divisional round game in 2022. That must be the greatest playoff game I have ever seen. What do you guys think? Very high game of points, very good back and forth versus the great Josh Allen and the great Patrick Mahomes. I think it'll be a very good episode to hear on either the Bills side or from the Chiefs side. All in all, a very good game. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Luke, you're 100% correct. That's a phenomenal game. That game revolutionized, a lot of what the league's gone into. That was the game where 13 or whatever, how many seconds. Yep. How explosive the league has gotten. And that's because of Patrick Mahomes, guys like Patrick Mahomes and guys like Josh Allen, who just, they're never out of it. That is going to be on the show. We just got to dial out who we're going to put up on there.
Mm-hmm. I think this is one of our most requested games outside of the USC Texas game. I think this is maybe the second most requested game.
That game it still just baffles me that we had a game that good. That was incredible. Incredible.
I know that I'm like a wet blanket guy. It's my whole thing. I hated this game. I hated that it was just like basketball at the end. Like it was just like, oh, whoever's gonna have the ball last is just gonna score all offense. Defense might not even play. So I know I'm like the wet blanket annoying guy here, and I'd love to do this game because it's fun to talk about. But I personally don't love this game.
That's even such a good game. We might have to get a guy from each side on.
If we could
somehow. That game, it's a must do. We got to do it.
I would love to hear their perspective of going into those last drives and, just what were the coaches saying?
Also, like the balls on Mahomes at 13 seconds. I was like, nah, I got this.
We got this.
We got this. Yeah. And
didn't turn out good for them. As we just went from one. Yeah. we gotta get it. We gotta get some more wins for the Bills.
That's the Bills dichotomy right there.
And the
right?
next one we got. Nice tee up, Kai.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize when I put them in that order.
Jack
Lord have mercy.
Jack's did these.
I'm just twisting the knife for Buffalo. I'm sorry, guys.
What's up, boys? Down in Texas, actually driving to a rodeo. Appreciate y'all's show, passing my time in the truck and getting horses ready on a daily basis. It's awesome to listen to. I hear everyone. Just gotta throw out another option is like having guys like at the NFR, which is the National Finals Rodeo, on the pod. You got like guys like Cody Ole, who he needed a good run to win the world title. Goes 6'4", breaks the world record, fastest tie down roping ever to happen, wins the world title. I mean, there's so many stories in the NFR and rodeo that you could come up with names for. So many big times where guys stepped up and did their thing. So I think that's another option to go and branch out and see more athletes, man. I appreciate the show, guys. Thank you.
Texas call.
I love this.
We got to get a rodeo.
Giddy up, baby. Got to.
Yeah, I remember once who was it? Scott Eastwood. We were talking about something. He's like, "Yeah, bro, you got to come out to the PBR." I'm like, "What the fuck's PBR?"
As in Clint Eastwood's son?
Yeah,
Scott
Clint Eastwood's
nice.
son. I guess he's a big rodeo guy. That's the league name, PBR.
I believe so. Not to be
Professional bull
confused
riding?
with Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, or is
Yeah.
it
It's
the
PBR,
same?
yeah.
PBR.
Yeah.
He said other stuff I didn't understand, but
I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we got to definitely get. It would be so cool to get a rodeo guy in here. I mean, I watch it here and there on like some of the sport networks.
Oh, yeah. I watch Yellowstone. I mean, on Yellowstone, they show a little. They got they're doing a little bit of that.
Those guys are nuts. Certifiable.
Real men, tough guys.
you know, we could go back to our origins where we get like the competitors and we get a guy and a bull.
We just sit a bull in here.
Dude. How long do you think either of you could realistically last on a bull? A real bull. I'm not no mechanical joint.
I don't know, man. Probably not long.
I'm not getting on it in the first place.
I'm probably not either. I'm a puss now.
You should
Jules?
do. You ever heard of mutton busting?
Yeah, oh yeah, mutton busting. The little guys on the little sheep.
It's like bull riding for kids, except for they just grab onto sheep and they just see how long they can hang on.
Hey,
to
I bet I
sheep
could
for.
try that.
You'd be great
I'd
at
be
mutton
pretty good
busting.
at it.
I literally just
There's
saw
a
a
good Cleveland show
crazy.
episode about that.
Who was it recently? Someone jumped on a bull and like did some like barebacked it. It was some dude. Looked like he was hammered. Did you see that video? Didn't I send it to the group or something?
Oh, I don't look.
I don't know. Well, you know what? Oh man, come on. I don't know if I remember that one. But did you see the one where the bull got out and was like out by the concession stand, bucking dudes like, and then they just kept going on with the rodeo? He got loose from the ring and was out by the concessions.
Now,
Sent a couple dudes to the hospital.
when you buy a ticket to one of those, I bet you it's in the small print. You get bucked by a bull at the concessions.
I will not sue.
I will not
Get
sue.
gored, you're good. Yo, I like
And they get a
this
free
call, though.
Coke.
Free Coke with each goring. I would say I would like to go to a rodeo and maybe steal a little rodeo valor, get the belt buckle out.
Oh.
Nice big old 12-gallon hat.
I would love to go to. We should go to a rodeo.
I'm down.
We got to experience it before I bring a guy on.
Yes. We got to go
You
see
can't
it
just
for
have
ourselves.
some
that from
stud
Austin?
rodeo guy. Probably. I mean, this guy's dropping names. The guy broke a world record. Can't have this guy on without experience.
Right. We got to see it. I've never been to one in person. Have you guys?
I've been to something. When I was a kid, there used to be a 4th of July rodeo in Woodside, California. I think I went to that once. There's like a little horse community up.
Oh, tight.
Not like I don't know, but yeah, we got to.
Maybe,
Huh?
maybe take friend of the show Dola. You think Dola?
Oh,
down in
Dola's
Texas?
been to a
Austin?
rodeo.
All right.
Yeah, he's
maybe
from
Dola
Houston.
can show us around.
Yeah, I think Dola has like 3 or 4 friends that just like are in rodeos.
Maybe that's
Hell
the
yeah. Scott Eastwood, we love you, but maybe Dola can.
Or our
Give us
friend
a-
here with these
Or our
with his
friend, our
horses.
homie here. Dude, I
gotta-
like this guy.
He's just about to load some horses, listening to games with names, listening to Jack glaze up some horses right now.
We had a post guest segment at one point that was going to be coolest horse names for the Kentucky Derby. I think it got cut.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till next year.
Oh man, I do like that. I like romanticizing this guy's life of like the sun's sitting out in Texas and he's loading up the trailer and Games with Names is cranked up on the big Ford F-350, his dually, I like that. That's a cool life.
And as he goes to press play on the old tape set, he reaches in his back pocket, pulls out a little, as we like to call it, God's dirt.
That's right. We'll drop a fat.
Puts it right in his lip. Gets on with his day while he listens to Games with Names in the background.
Hell yeah, boys. This week they got Berj Najarian. That's right. Y'all boys hear that new one? How about that sarsaparilla? Yeah.
I don't know why. It's maybe
What are you going to say, Jules?
anytime I drink, everyone thinks I'm from Texas.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I didn't
You
know
get
that.
a little Popeye, you get a little bit of that old.
See you on the dusty trail.
I'm like, no, I'm from San Francisco, Bay Area. Hey, where are you from, Texas? I go, I'm
Over here in
probably-
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Little place where the horses go wild. This place called Mountain View. Right next to Hewlett Packard.
All right, last one.
What's up, Jules? Sean here. Hey, I'll be at the live broadcasting of Games with Names at the end of August in Boston. I have a proposition for you. If you get the legendary Randy Moss on before then, I will come on stage and let you punch me in the face. Would love to hear what you think. Thanks, Jules.
I don't know if I can get that done.
It's worth the try.
I like this proposition.
This is, yeah, dude, I'll let you punch me in the face.
In front of the entire Wilbur crowd. A sold out Wilbur. Just committing assault.
He'll sign a release.
He'll sign a release. Consent? Yeah. You think we give him headgear or no headgear?
I don't want to break my hand.
No, I think Jack has to punch him.
12-ounce glass. One or two boxing classes with Jules down in Santa Monica. I could throw a little weight into it.
I still need a lot more.
I don't know. I do. The tone of this guy, of Sean, was very ominous. I'll be at the live show in Boston. Like, it was ominous and a little threatening. I kind of like it. A little jokerish.
Joker.
What if we don't get Randy? I don't
Then
see
he has to
Yeah,
punch.
he
Yeah,
didn't
I didn't get anything.
We didn't really tell us. If we don't get Randy, I guess it just makes the show worse.
Our producer, Leah, was getting buddy-buddy with Randy's wife at the celebration. So maybe we got
I'm
an
a
in.
boss.
I'm telling you, for us to get Randy, we have to, because he only travels just to do probably the show. I think he's on, his,
ESPN.
Yeah. Other than that, I think Randy literally just fishes all day. So we have to do Games with Names on like a fishing boat. And I'm talking like lake fishing, so it's going to be very tight.
I'm down for that. We'll get practice when we do Bill in Nantucket on a fishing boat.
Are we doing Bill in Nantucket in a fishing boat?
And we're just going to try.
do
We're
Bill
going to try
on the boat
to
if we
do
have
it
to do
anywhere.
Every time I ask Bill, he just keeps on giving me some. I'm like, he keeps on asking how much money.
Yeah, he just.
I go, Bill, this isn't how podcasting works. It's literally like friendy friend.
All right, Johnny Manziel doing the freaking.
He's
Money
giving me
Manziel.
money signs like Johnny Manziel. I'm like, Bill.
You think he just beat?
I go,
Alabama
all
over
the
here.
years that I took those shitty fucking contracts where you bullied me into taking. How about you take that money and just keep it in your head and say, oh, this is what I'm going on to Games with Names for.
Yeah, we offer prove it deals over here. How about that?
Yeah, we offer a proof. This is a prove it deal.
League minimum.
You're getting league minimum. 2013. No, but I tell Bill all the time, like, he's like, are we good now? I'm like, when have we ever been bad? And as I'm walking away, I go, Bill, you can't pick your family. You can't pick your family. He's just like, oh my God.
Hey, speaking of Randy, did you guys get to share an embrace at the Brady night?
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
We went pre-stage.
That's right.
We were just talking shit about what we were all just talking about like what we would probably get into.
I love that.
We took a picture.
I almost cried when they gave Randy that standing O.
Yeah. It was deserved. He's an all-time great. Not just for the Patriots, for the world.
Yeah. All right, to wrap this up, we'll clip this, put it on social media. Everyone tag Randy Moss. We'll figure it out.
Everyone's got to tag Randy.
Straight cash. Homie.
No, straight tag homie.
Straight tag.
Straight tag, homie.
Well, what a game. What an episode. Thanks again to Berj. That's been another episode of Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Comment a game you want us to do. And remember,
rate and review.
Remember to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. Leave a message on the hotline at 424-291-2290. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.